Who's better than us? Nobody!
We want to focus on the things that have made us good all year long, an intensity that they can't match. And the other thing is the ultimate disrespect is when somebody takes what's yours. And this is our game, so that makes it personal. Dominate on three. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
I need 60 minutes. 60 minutes to me. 60 minutes. No business, no mercy. Nothing but stunt bubbles. You got me. We're going to ring the bell. We're going to ring that championship bell.
Big motherfucking time.
Here comes the pressure. Penix fires over the middle, and it is intercepted. Mikey Sandristil going the other way.
The legend of Mike Sandristil continues to grow.
JJ takes the snap, flips the ball to Roman Wilson after he takes a knee, and Michigan, the Wolverines, have won a national championship.
First and goal. Mahomes flings it. It's there! Hardman! Jackpot! Kansas City!
This was the Andy Reid special we talked about. He was saving all day. He's going to fake a motion to go across. And at that moment, he turns and goes back Hardman, who they didn't have, right?
On this touchdown throw to Mecole Hardman, who started the season as a Jet.
And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
Last week we said in the locker room, nobody but the guys in that locker room knew how good this group can be. Now the whole damn country knows.
Hello, everyone. Welcome Huddle Up Podcast. We close out the month of October. It is October 29th, 2024, and let's figure it all out before it all changes again. I want to remind everyone you can follow us on all of our social media. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok at Huddle Up Podcast. We are also on Instagram at Huddle Up Podcast Inc. We are on Twitch at Huddle Up Inc. You can get us there. You can also grab our merchandise over on the TeePublic store. You can do that now. I'm sure there is a sale. If there is not currently a sale, there will probably be one going on very soon. TeePublic, very good, very generous a merchandise host as it comes to sales. So make sure you check that out and grab some of the stuff you see on the screen, as well as some revamped designs from the past. We have the Eagles Jaworski shirt over there. So plenty of great gear over on the TeePublic store. And just want to remind everybody that we will not be live next week on Tuesday night. We will be live on Wednesday. We are preempted by a newsworthy thing happening next Tuesday. I'm sure depending what state you're in, you're probably more aware of it than others, but we will not be live on Tuesday. So make sure you plan accordingly. I think student of the game, Kyle Nash and Mikey B will be doing something on Tuesday as it pertains to the Student of the Game podcast, but we'll be live with Huddle Up on Wednesday night next week. Then we'll be back Tuesday for the duration of the season. Yeah, Devin checking in with us as it is the evil twin checking in as well. Yeah, Sean with us here. Mikey B. Student of the game, Kyle Nash and EJ will be joining shortly. Matt is on assignment again this week, so he'll not be with us. But we'll start next to me. Mikey B, how we doing this week?
We're doing real well because of one thing. The implosion of the evil empire. I tell you this as a baseball fan before Kyle gets here, and I don't have to listen to his shit because I'm going to hear enough of it later. Thank God for the LA Dodgers, because I don't have to fucking listen to the goddamn Yankees talk about how fucking great they are anymore.
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't know that there's a lot of people that were like, yeah, Dodgers win the World Series until the Yankees were on the opposite side. And then I feel like pretty much everybody, sans Yankee fans, we're like, yeah, go Dodgers, let's win the World Series.
I've never been a bigger Doyer fan in my life until
Nope.
game one.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But yep, the Dodgers doing the Lord's work for us here in the World Series. Hopefully that and it is on its way to ending tonight, it does look like. So we will try and provide some score updates as the night goes on. But all right, down below here, Sean, how we doing this week?
Well, we're doing. I was going to cover the same thing. Yankees reeling. And after the way tonight started, looks like short of the greatest single comeback led by one individual, I think your MVP is pretty much locked up. Freeman's on a heck of a pace right now.
Frederick?
Yeah. What is
a home
it?
run in all 4 games?
Jeez, unbelievable. And what is it, 6 straight playoffs?
6 straight, going back to the last World Series he played.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's out hitting in 4 games what the Phillies pulled off in our entire series.
Yeah.
I will
so it's
say,
been great, but yeah, week's good. Halloween week, kids are excited. Everyone's a little excited. House is decorated. We're ready to fly.
Very good.
I mean, I will say it's hilarious that literally going into this series, there were baseball analysts that were like, is Freddie Freeman going to be able to play because of how bad his ankle got rolled in that first series back in the division series? And we're living in a world where the Yankees can't get him out. Lefty on the mound, righty on the mound, don't matter.
Don't matter. Nothing else.
Can't
Nothing
get him
matters.
out.
Nope.
Nothing matters. Just
whatever modern
air.
Yeah, whatever modern medicine they gave that ankle in between game 5 of the NLCS and game 1 of the World Series. I don't know what it was, but kudos to the Dodgers training staff because they can't get him out right now. Doesn't matter how they get there. Doesn't matter what they do. They can't get him out.
Not a chance. Devin, I see you, by the way, calling me out, the evil twin. Yeah, we good to see you too, bud.
Capitals up on the Rangers tonight. So sports
suck it, New York.
Far, this Matt Rempe got wrecked in a fight by Big Mac. Not this one, but the Big Mac that plays for the Capitals.
My cousin.
Period 2 about to get underway there. Ovechkin already has 2. He's down to 38 to the record now. The man is under 40 to history.
I can't wait for Jaworski's to come crashing through the wall. Just the first thing I can tell him is "fuck off, Rangers fan."
No. That's the best part. I'd bet good money that he doesn't even know they're playing tonight.
Oh, better yet, let's ask him if he can guess what the score is.
Yeah, there we go. All right, let's. Well, that's a bad way to start a period. Rangers scored fucking 10 seconds into the period. Well, that sucks. Anyway, let's get underway. All right, we will look back, and I'm sure the other two, as they come crashing into the party, will join us as well in this. But as we do each week, we look back at the past weekend in the football world, and we take care of what did we learn this past weekend. So, Sean, I'll start with you this week. What did you learn this past weekend?
I learned, and we all saw that he wasn't the same as he was early in his career. But I saw and I learned how far Deshaun Watson actually fell. I learned watching Jameis Winston stretch a field and use all his receivers without – I mean, I thought they were going to really lean on the running game with like a 3-headed monster, and they didn't really. Obviously you're against a team that can score points. They needed to have a game plan to put some up, and Jameis brings an element to the position that should allow those receivers to excel and get spread out and move a defense around and get the safeties out of your face. And it's just, I think you watched Deshaun, and there were little sparkles of some touchdown drives here and, a big play there. And you're like, well, maybe he's turning around, and not even close. Yeah. The jump from Deshaun Watson to Jameis Winston was substantial. And you saw life on the sidelines. You saw life on the team. The defense was excited. Everyone was excited. The Browns fans forgot how poor their record is. and we're just enjoying the show. And, I know one game's early to say it, but, obviously down here in Tampa, Jameis still has a pretty good following. No one here, all the turnovers, everything, no one has a bad thing to say about Jameis Winston here. He was a good guy in the community, he was a good guy on the team. And I told a few of them, I said, I'm not counting any chickens here, but I think the Browns give Jameis an opportunity with the weapons he has for this to hypothetically be almost like a Geno Smith, Sam Darnold kind of scenario. Now, it's a little late for this year, probably. But I think if he does well in that offense and you get a chance to just cash out on Deshaun Watson and finally hey, look, we signed this guy too, for pennies. He might get a chance to get paid here. So I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm predicting the Browns to pull off a wild card berth or anything like that, but nothing's out of the question. And I think they're going to. I wouldn't want to be fighting for a playoff spot and have the Browns on my schedule the next few games. I don't know how you predict it, and and Jameis may crash back to earth in a week or two. So
yeah,
but it definitely showed the lack of a Deshaun Watson and what Deshaun Watson, how far he has fallen.
Yeah, I think part of it is just the kind of breath of fresh air to the franchise that the quarterback switch caused. There was some bad coaching decisions on the opposite sideline for Baltimore in some critical moments as well. But yeah, the stadium there was live. The thing I don't know, and I'm sure if there's Browns fans out there that or writers or anything like that probably know the answer much better than I do, is I don't know what the buyout situation looks like, because I know the contract's guaranteed. And Kyle, I don't even know if this is something that Kyle and EJ now jumped into the show here. Kyle, I don't know if you know the answer, but I don't know what that situation is, whether if they can just buy him out and eat the contract, or
it would be reminiscent of Russell Carrington Wilson. I forget the exact number. I see Byrne and EJ tapping away furiously, but I don't know if you're finding it or not. But the punchline's this: it would be something like that, right? That's actually a point that I've made not only on the Duval Dive or the Student of the Game podcast, or even my guys at the Barking Browns, that Russell Carrington Wilson and the Broncos have set the table for eating a contract. And guys, gentlemen, there's a reason why this one's called the worst in sports history. Sean, notice I didn't say football. I said sport.
Oh, yeah.
History. But yeah, that's a great point too. But let's put it this way. It comes down to you change from the dude that had the chance to come back and be a hero versus the dude that couldn't handle being the villain. Of course.
So, according to Sports Spotrac, the cap hit he has is $27,942,000, aka 10% of the cap hit. If they were to let him go, his dead cap money would be over $200 million.
Okay. I think if Jameis is doing well, if Deshaun Watson comes back and is healthy and Jameis is playing well, or even at the very least giving them a chance to be in ball games, I think that Deshaun Watson becomes the most expensive backup of all time.
Yeah.
You can't cut him. He's just going to sit there. And if a team ever wants to reach out and trade for him, I would trade him for nothing. But no one's going to. So he's just going to have to accept that this may have been his last job.
It's well, I think that was going to be true anyway, Sean. But the I think the big piece that we need to consider here too is how injured is he? How much money can the Browns or how much cap room can they recoup that way? And that's where it gets a little tricky for me. Right. Go ahead.
Looking at a bigger breakdown, the 2024 season, his base pay is $1.2 million, signing bonus of 8.7, restructured protection of 17 million, and a dead cap space of 27 million. Next year is where things get interesting. The next 2 years, his base pay is 46 million with an $8 million signing bonus. He has a cap hit of 72 million both years, and would have dead cap space next year of $172 million and $99 million in 2026.
So, but that's the thing. The part that we're missing there, and that's a good breakdown of how bad it could get. Bern, I hear you on that. Where I sit is they have some sort of an insurance policy for him money wise, right? If for whatever reason Jameis is declared unable to play or unfit to play moving forward, that could change a lot of things. I don't know how bad his injury is. Maybe that's not a thing. Maybe that's something where the two parties find a way to meet in the middle somehow. We got
first ever Bobby Bonilla NFL contract.
Yeah,
the
bottom line for the Browns is, that they're probably gonna have to make a hard business decision somewhere. Follow, those Browns guys that Kyle dinged the bell for.
But either way, looking at where they are and looking at that contract, Johnny Manziel is the happiest man in America because he is no longer the Browns' biggest.
Correct. The good news for the Browns is they have 9 games left. Now, I don't think that there's really any realistic or even far out possibility that they're making the postseason. The good news for them, though, is out of the 9 games left, 8 of them are against teams in the AFC. So if they want to go on the craziest run ever, at least the field in front of them is correct to try to do it. But
nobody would be silly enough to say that they could still compete for the playoffs, right, EJ?
Davis Winston's going to make EJ look like a genius.
All right, student of the game, Kyle Nash. What did you learn this past weekend?
God, you'll need to take me a second. I just kind of warped in from a early recorded edition of the Duval Dive. Freaking Cam Robinson getting trade completely ruined my life for the moment. I'll leave it at that. Jaden Daniels is a strong man. This dude has a bruise injury. Forget the game. Bleep the game. You have at one point the commentator saying they might have to bring in Marcus Mariota. I don't think he can throw it quite that far. Say even that humpy bumpy. I get it. It got too backward. It's cool. But damn it. This is what happens when you kick your habit of ACC quarterback draft play and get a guy that's not from that conference to quarterback your NFL squad. Bravo to you, Red Tails. Sorry, Commanders.
He is good, man. He is good, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah, real good, real strong. Like he made a pass with apparently a torn, middle of his body that most quarterbacks in the league can't make healthy. So, good God, good on him. Good on Washington fans for actually finding.
Is he MVP conversation for you guys?
I won't go MVP yet, but he's certainly a Rookie of the Year favorite, isn't he?
Oh yeah, that's a runaway at this point.
He's probably a candidate for both. I doubt he's going to win both. You're
not. Unfortunately, you're probably not going to win both.
But there's a few other guys. It's a short list of guys that are as important to their team right now as he is.
I would give TJ Watt more votes for MVP right now than I would him.
Oh, he's there too.
Yep. See my response to your CJ Stroud MVP talk in Week 8 last year, and you'll know how I feel about this question this year.
Hey, look, all I said is a conversation. If you're putting together 5 guys, is he one of the 5 guys you're considering?
I don't
be excited about 5 guys.
I don't.
Hold on. 5 guys are overrated shit, though. Let's be real.
It's a good burger.
Fries are overrated. Burgers are actually pretty good. It's the fries are overrated, but that's just me.
So is your top 5 over MVP candidate list?
Brrr!
I haven't done.
I'm here, boys.
Wait. I
here.
I haven't done a list yet, though. What are you talking about?
Buddy, you constantly have a list going. You somehow Patrick Mahomes at number
Mike,
1.
you know me a long time.
Championship pedigree.
That's right. You're damn right.
Not even using that term.
He always has a top 5 and 10 people are on it.
Dude, it's the thing. It's always a thing, Jim. You know this already.
Yes, I'm well aware. EJ, what did you learn this past weekend?
Okay, so maybe just preface this real quick that I think John Harbaugh is a fantastic coach. I think he's a top 5-ish coach in the league.
Right.
Hot seat.
Without question. No. He's not. No.
Percolating.
Don't give me ideas yet, though. No. I love John Harbaugh. And he's definitely one of the best coaches in the league. But man, we gotta talk about some of his coaching adjustments once in a while. I think we all sat here and said that during the ACC game last year against KC, that loss was squarely mostly on John Harbaugh and his coaching.
Are you going to bring that blasphemy here in Big Jim's house of Harbaugh?
Yeah, look. This is why I prefaced the whole soften the whole flow here. this week against Cleveland. 11 carries from Derrick Henry. What are we doing? John, come on. Same issue in the ACL game last
Is
year.
it not one of the
ball.
best front sevens in like the NFL though?
That's
Like,
the one thing the Browns do well is interior defensive line. That's why there's only 11 Derrick Henry carries. Let me be clear. There's other mistakes that had a lot bigger impact than not running Derrick Henry enough.
Well, the defense was pretty shitty also too this weekend. But
yeah, I mean, so he had 11 carries, but what were his?
Until right now.
Well, he was averaging 6 yards a carry. So
Wait, this is a
little
great
bit
game.
of a valid question.
This is a high scoring game now with Rangers and the Capitals. 4-3 Caps now.
Wow, I'm actually shocked you knew that they were
Shut
playing.
up. I am a Rangers fan. I'm only a Rangers fan. Come on, what's wrong with
Big
you?
hockey guy.
Yeah,
Sure you are.
Big guy.
Sure
Big
you
guy.
are.
Wait.
Big guy.
Allegedly.
Their season was over a while ago. The Texas Rangers haven't been relevant in baseball for years, just like your net.
The who? The who?
Got him.
Got
him.
Texas Rangers.
See, EJ didn't know how to respond because I made a baseball joke, and I don't.
Big hockey guy, old Emmerich Yager up here.
Yeah.
It was,
is he still playing? I'm joking.
Emmerich Yager.
Yager actually is still playing this year.
Yeah.
He's retiring at the end
Europe,
of this
year.
Yeah.
What a hell of a dude, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are certainly times where, I have a couple of friends that are diehard Ravens fans, and they at times they have a love-hate relationship with John Harbaugh because, yeah, he is a hell of a coach, one of the best in the league, and continues to get that team at least in a position to make a run. And it's been obviously been a couple of years since they made one, but yeah, there are definitely points where you go, what the hell are we doing
and
here?
I will say, Jim, he even with only 11 attempts, Derrick Henry did have 73 yards. So
yeah, that's what I said. He averaged 60.
Okay, we're gonna do this. You're gonna chop up data, EJ Christian. One last question you have to ask before you move on. What was his long carry?
39 yards.
39 yards. Okay, so I know math is tough for you, so we'll raise it to 40, right? You said he had 75 yards on the day?
73 yards.
73 yards, and he had a 39-yard carry, right? So that brings that down to 43 yards out of 10 carries, 4.3. The correct analysis is that's still pretty good. So there's that.
Right. That that's still a first down every like 2.5 plays.
Still feed the beast, brother. Still feed the beast.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the question was there. But yeah, it doesn't look great. It's one of those losses.
Bob.
I'm just saying, Harbaugh.
You didn't even have to hit the button. Nobody knew.
That's true. Yeah.
Nobody knew.
I'm just saying Harbaugh gets a little cute for his own good sometimes. You know what I mean? That's all.
Well, here's what I would compare it to, buddy. It's the hipster version of Dan Campbell. He was aggressive before it was cool.
Correct. Right. To be fair. Yeah.
Mikey B, what did you learn this past weekend?
I learned that there's an underrated coach in the Southeastern Conference. His name is Mike Elko from Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Because the adjustment that he made of benching his starting quarterback to go to a guy who he knew was going to be an absolute game changer when the Texas A&M offense was struggling. They score 31 second half points. They made the right decision in the defense that Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers were running. Mm-hmm. Mike Elko potentially got Texas A&M to the doorstep of potentially playing in an SEC title game in a decision that a lot of people, as soon as he made it, were on Twitter going, why is this guy doing this? I don't understand it. Well, obviously, Mike Elko understood his decision, and he backed his decision 150%, and then went out and found a way to win a football game. So we sit here, we give Kirby all of the smart marks and all the praise there. We talk about the Alabama hierarchy from Saban to DeBoers and all the other coaches, and of course, Coach Brian out there in LSU. But I'll tell you what.
Wait. Who gives Coach Brian props on this?
I do.
Podcast?
I do.
Excuse me. Carry on.
So what I'll say with that is, while we give some coaches in the SEC maybe too many flowers, I'd like to give flowers to a guy who made a game-saving season-saving and potentially SEC title game appearance decision that some coaches may be uncomfortable making.
Remind me, Elko was the guy that had Kentucky successful for a little bit too, right? Because I know I've covered him in a bowl, but and listen, I will sign off on what you're doing. Is you're kind enough to research my question on your take for me while you're having it. Burn, you're just awesome that way.
He was the head coach at Duke from
he was Duke for 2 years. He was an assistant at Notre Dame.
That's what it was. It was I got the blue and white mixed up. I knew I covered him at some point, but the punchline is I was more impressed with what he did at Duke, for sure. The only comeback I would have is, was it right to change the quarterback? All you points you make are valid, but if he's such a great coach, how come that wasn't the starter from moment one is the fair question.
Well, it's because of what LSU was doing defensively.
Okay, so you think he was responding with the quarterback for that game?
Correct, because of the mobility that the quarterback that he brought in gave them.
Now, listen, that would imply the Bayou Bengals have had problems with running quarterbacks, and I just don't think there's any evidence to support it.
Even he can't get that one out.
That's the joke.
Yeah, because the starter for them, Connor Wegman, 6 of 18 for 64 yards. They brought in Marcel Reed. He only went 2 of 2. He threw for 70 yards, but it was his legs. 9 carries, 62 yards, and 3 touchdowns. It's almost like they decided to abandon the pass altogether
At this
and
rate,
turn back the
you
clock.
have to play LSU. Boom.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it was a heck of a decision and one that was obviously a huge game changer for the Aggies and for the SEC and for the top part of college football, which obviously we're going to talk about here in a little bit, and it kind of leads Mike into my what did I learn, and like this new era of college football that we're now 9 weeks into is gonna kind of, it feels like, keep us guessing each and every week, because I think one of the big questions going into this season was are games going to matter, how much are games going to matter, and playoff matchups, and and all of these questions. And each week, even when there's a week, it's like, man, this doesn't seem like it's going to be that crazy. And yeah, we've been proven very, very wrong on all of those. And it just seems like the thing that I find most fascinating in this, again, small little pocket that we have of this new era of college football is the fact that, with a 12-team playoff, I feel like a lot of teams are playing almost playing a little bit looser, because like in the past you would see there was so much important on every down, every minute, every second of every game, because if you lost, depending who you lost to, when you lost to, how much you lost by, it was catastrophic. Where now it's like, all right, cool. We may have had a bad week, we may have slipped up a little bit, but like we're kind of right back in the hunt. Now, as we start to transition to November, and the further we get in November, I think the tighter the games are going to be. But earlier in the season, I think we're kind of seeing these decisions of maybe I'm going to make a quarterback change. Maybe I'm going to try this a little bit differently in this game, in this moment, in this situation, because, let's see if it works. If not, we lose, probably still going to be alive. And I think, I feel like it's really kind of made a very compelling college football product this year.
Well, and listen, who am I to argue with you, Jim? What was it a few weeks back? I had my own Lewis Black channeled version of this very same rant. But you like that you put in that positive spin of not and somebody's dead off of one mistake. And I think that's the best thing for all college football fans. I know there's going to be already teams that will point to a certain game, like, good God, why didn't we listen to Joel Cladden beat maybe like we were supposed to most assuredly do?
And rightly so.
G5 Vengeance and all that. But, or I think a better example might be Nebraska or something like that, But whereas actually, no, that's a bad example. They're not even ranked anymore. Punchline's this: a team like Alabama is still in the mix even after losing to Vanderbilt. A team like Notre Dame's still in it, after one misstep. No, that's not an Irish slam, although that would sound like a great drink for a beer. But,
tell me more about that, like the drink part.
Yeah, that's more of the Irish slams.
Sign me up for the alcohol, please.
Right?
Isn't there a redheaded female wrestler?
Easy, Rod.
Easy.
What? It's Irish. I'm just saying. Anyways.
Well, yeah, I think the thing with this year in college football, like, we're living under the world of, like, is a loss in early September, early October more painful than a loss in December? I think that's something we're going to find out. Like, Notre Dame, obviously, Kyle will the G5 comment, and we'll get to that eventually.
Oh no, they have another G5 yet on the schedule that's ranked that they could still stumble to, so I'm fine.
So what I'm saying here is a loss to them if they now run the table, and compared to a team losing a game one of their last 2 weeks of the season, potentially even losing a conference title game, could that leave a team on the outside looking in? Looking at you, Iowa State versus BYU.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Well, and the punchline, I mean, elements of that have happened in the past. Please see a number of SEC occurrences, right? But I think it's losing a game in late October, early in November doesn't necessarily murder you unless you're in the Big 12. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's exciting me is just, and I'll just get it in quick here, is I think one thing you're seeing is like these teams that have that loss, where in years past, it's like, well, there that goes. We're not going to be in the 4. And you don't really change anything. You just play your game and you win as many as you can. And, you try to go to a bowl game and do your thing. Whereas now these teams that are like in those early teens or even 15, 16 are like, you know what, if we can shock the world here, we could still win a national title. And so you're seeing these teams reach, and you're seeing A&M make that decision. And, the idea that like Alabama's like, well, hey, let's just get out there and get flashy, and if you find yourself in a hole, you're like, we can't do one more. So we got to do anything we can today. And you're starting to see some excitement out of those middle teens and even as low as 20, because there's still hope. I think you're going to see some of those teams, especially here late in the year, try to stay flashy, try to stay relevant, and try to sneak some games out. So I think that's exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Catching up on a couple of comments here. We have a comment. It says loss is more painful in September. See, this may be the hopeful homer in me, but it really isn't. And now, granted, like a loss to a Northern Illinois team, especially
that one hurts.
Especially when you've shown week 1 and post week 2, what you're capable of. That one it's just one of those ones where you really scratch your head. I'm also curious in the years moving forward, the more that the portal, especially at the quarterback position, the roster turnovers that we're going to see with teams. If you're not going to see, now granted, I'm not thinking it's going to happen with a team that's ranked as high as Notre Dame was, but if you're going to see teams who are in the top 20 that have had a high roster turnover that are going to trip up to teams they shouldn't trip up to, because those smaller schools are not going to they're going to have rosters that they've built and curated for years. As
I'm not, let's table that, but
in a lot of instances there's going to be outliers, but like when you have a team that has a fresh offensive line who's basically starting their second games ever, and a quarterback that hadn't played since early October the year before and is on a completely different roster. If you get behind by a team who gets full of piss and vinegar, you may not be able to recover from an early stumble. But that's we have to see more data in years in the future. But like I think while it may hurt to lose to one of those teams, obviously you can recover. We're going to go over where the AP top, the top 15 and how it plays out to what the playoff would look like here in a minute. But you're gonna start to find now that we're turning the calendar page November this week, and there's going to be teams that if you lose this weekend, you may not be able to recover from it. And so I do disagree on the
Real quick, Brent, let me get this in. I have to apologize to Jim as somebody who's watched DJ Mack, Mikey Keene, and Parker Navarro all be FCS quarterbacks after leaving UCF. They've entered the chat. Just
fair.
I will say the other thing, and this might be a bad team to use as an example, but I'm going to use them as an example. It's Boise State. The loss to Oregon in September. If they run the table, it looks okay. They lost to a team who's going to probably play in the Big Ten title game.
And had a shot to win. Make sure you point
Correct.
that out.
Close game, yeah.
But if they lost this past week to UNLV, or they lose this week to I don't know whom they're playing, a loss at this point now knocks them out of the G5 top team more than likely. Yeah. But the loss in early September, taking a shot, playing a team that arguably is going to end up in the top 5, whether they win the conference or not is up for conversation, and that's another conversation for another day. But a loss to a team who potentially could go into their conference title game undefeated, and that being their loss in September, as long as they do their job moving forward, they're going to have a shot at redemption.
Yeah. Jason had a comment here. He said, "Go Niners." Congratulations.
I mean, I guess, yeah. Like,
cool.
If I may, as the Niners fan on the panel, are you that excited, Jason? Jesus.
Right. Yeah, great.
All we know is that we're going to finally see Big Jim's space program get into launch here.
Jason's very emotional, so don't mind him.
There's actually no emotion at all.
No, Jason, I'm saying, not you.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Jason does ask who gets fired first, Boone, the Yankees manager.
McCarthy.
Wrong.
Probably.
Yeah. Wrong. It's Aaron Boone, and he gets fired tomorrow if they lose this game.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a sweep. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
They may fire him while the Dodgers are lifting the World Series trophy.
Like you
may have breaking news.
They're just yard sailing his office in Yankees. They're just throwing shit to fans.
Yeah, they lose tonight. Breaking news while Freddie Freeman gets the MVP trophy. Aaron Boone out as manager of the New York Yankees.
They do the manager interview and they just walk someone else up.
And Devin says, "What I learned this weekend is Tua is not the missing piece for the Dolphins." I wouldn't read too much into this past weekend. It's his first game in weeks.
I like that take.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great take. I mean, I know
you may be right.
You're a Dolphins fan. You're going.
It's going to take longer than that.
Go ahead, Mike.
Tua is not the missing piece for this Dolphins team because there's too many other pieces that they need to address.
EJ, finish what you were going to say.
No, the defense prior to Tua coming back last couple weeks, it was really solid. And then this week, Tua gets back, he plays well, and defense is let up. So they got a lot of issues beyond Tua at this point. So
yeah.
But Kyler Murray, am I right?
It's not.
It's amazing. Let me tell you, Sean, that NFC West is very interesting right now. 4-4, 4-4, 4-4, 3-4. It's crazy.
Yeah, they get handicapped and they still can't take advantage of it.
Yeah, who knows when we get to what's going to happen this weekend? More on that later.
More on that.
More on that.
All right, so let's take a look at again. This is from Nick Bromberg of Yahoo Sports, and this is the last week that we get to do this little social experiment because next week is when the first college football playoff rankings officially come out. So we'll kind of go back to what we've done in years past, and kind of react to them, and we'll kind of see where we go from there with those. But this is what the playoff ranking would look like if the season ended today, based on the AP top 25. So your first round buys would be Oregon at 1, Georgia 2, Miami 3, and BYU at 4. Those would be your 4 highest ranked conference champions. Your first round matchups would be number 5 Penn State hosting Boise State, the number 12 team in the playoff, as your G5 champion. Then you would have number 6 Ohio State hosting number 11 Clemson, number 7 Texas hosting number 10 Texas A&M, and number 8 Tennessee hosting number 9 Notre Dame. So we're not going to do like we've done the last couple of weeks. What I want to do is go over like percent based on what this field is, percentages of each team's chance of winning the national title. But looking at the field as we have it, what is like the most intriguing, or is there like an intriguing matchup? Is there an intriguing second round matchup that you guys would see coming out of these first round matchups before we dive into that?
Does anybody else think Tennessee and Notre Dame would be quality football?
That'd be
I
was looking at that too.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, Notre Dame shouldn't be ranked ahead of Boise State, but that's a separate conversation.
I mean, your best sell, in my opinion, is obviously Texas A&M.
Right.
I mean, that's fun.
Sure.
You know, and as much as we love Boise State, as much as we love the running game, I don't know that that's a terrible matchup for Penn State, because Penn State, you know, you got to stop the run some, but you know, Penn State doesn't want a team that's going to run the score up on them, because I don't know that they can.
I also don't think that that's going to be the matchup.
Correct. I think that the reason why Mike and I mostly picked that is we're fairly certain that Penn State will not remain at number 5.
No. So this won't be an issue. But that matchup there would actually, in my opinion, be a decent draw for Penn State when you look at some of these other teams that can throw. I think that would be a decent starting point. But like you said,
Grand Slam.
Point.
I also think that there's a world where Boise State is ranked higher.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's very realistic.
Because if Clemson loses the ACC title game,
when Clemson loses.
Correct.
By the way, that bottom left corner is 3 to 5 teams I hate the most in college football, all right in that low corner. Miami, Clemson, Ohio State, right there.
Well, that's not going to stay. That's not going to stay that way, because
thank God
Clemson's probably going to move. Ohio State probably moves.
Yeah.
I mean,
most of these teams, minus the ones sitting out in front, are going to move probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, most likely, because I think there's still
sitting out in front there, Sean. Like, do you mean
like 1 and 2? I mean, and probably 3, but like that could falter. You just never know. But I mean, BYU.
I mean, Tennessee still has to play Georgia.
Yeah.
I think
Tennessee could just be out.
Clemson and Miami would play in the ACC title game.
The easy one. Oh, sorry. Go
obviously, Penn State and Ohio State play 4 days from now. So,
if Tennessee were to beat Georgia, that would really shake this whole thing up.
Well, and then I mean, in Texas A&M, like, I mean, again, right now that, you know, like A&M, if they win out, they're going to be one of the 2 teams in the SEC title game. So either they're going to end up as a first round bye, or they're going to end up out.
If A&M wins out, that means they beat Texas on November 30th.
Oh, that's right. They play each other.
So
that matchup's
that matchup is still out there. So yeah, there's a lot of these teams that still.
This definitely ain't gonna hold.
What I would say right now, looking at the 12 teams that are here, if you're telling me that 8 of the 12 of them stay in this bracket in some way, shape, or form, I would say good luck.
Right.
8 feels high.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
I'm your Huckleberry. I could pick your 8.
Okay.
BYU's going to stay. Boise's going to stay. You down with those?
Yep, fine.
Okay. Quack, motherfucker.
Yep.
Miami, I think, stays.
Yeah, that's easy.
Georgia, I think, stays.
Is that 5?
Yeah, that's 5.
No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. Yeah, the reason why I'm thinking 6 is because I haven't said it yet. Texas.
Okay.
7 is Ohio State.
That was the other one that I thought you were going to say.
And then 8, have I said Notre Dame yet? Because I think
you didn't.
I think Notre Dame's going to hold because their schedule sucks ass, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. It's just.
I mean, I've never said that this year's schedule was hard.
Who said it was you, Jim? Are you having a guilty conscience?
I mean,
I've never heard Muehlheisen say it. He's an Irish.
I mean, I'm one of the 2 Notre Dame fans on the panel today.
3, sir. 3 tonight. You keep forgetting that Matt, albeit a diva who only appears when he feels like it, is an Irish fan.
I mean, he's not here to answer, so I'm not going to speak for him.
I'm not asking you to. I'm just wondering why. Maybe I'm asking him questions too, as if he's listening to the podcast.
Bing.
You know.
I mean, you picked the right 8. I still feel like with all the cross playing with Texas A&M,
Yeah.
Tennessee, Georgia, and like just looking at it could get sloppy, and I mean Penn State's not going to upend Ohio State. I don't see that happening.
So what we're saying realistically is A&M, Tennessee, Clemson,
Penn State are out.
Penn State.
Those are the 4 out.
Those are the 4 out.
Yeah.
Well, and even if one of those manages to hang on, I think the 8 I pick stay.
Well, if one of those 4 hangs on, then someone else is probably
like for example,
you're not getting a 9th team in.
If Miami and Clemson both win out and Clemson wins the title game, I think they'll both still make the playoff though at that point.
Yeah, and especially if it is a close game, which by all accounts it probably should be if Clemson's going to win, then I think then because I mean by that point, Miami's currently 5th again. AP, we'll see what the committee does next week, but with the I don't see them dropping 10 plus spots with a close loss to what would be a top 10 or 11 Clemson team at that point.
Yeah, that happens, and they'll totally let in an undefeated Iowa State, or excuse me, not undefeated, 1 loss Iowa State. No, that's not going to happen.
Right.
They're more likely to let Dion in at that point with 2 losses.
I mean, they
rank
in the Big 12, right? And then, but then that would knock.
They
BYU
shouldn't be
out.
ranked.
Who should be ranked?
Colorado.
Stop.
I would have rather have kept Vanderbilt ranked over fucking Colorado.
You think those cowards would do that?
No, they didn't want to rank them in the first place.
That's the point.
I think both be ranked, to be honest with you. But
that would be fun, EJ. You're not wrong, but
right.
All right, but let's look at the. Go ahead.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
Let's look at the field of 12, and like I said, because doing the hypothetical matchup exercise again, is going to yield probably a similar result. So let's look at the field of 12 that we have in front of us today.
Right.
Again, will dramatically change again this weekend probably. But let's start. We'll go 12-1. And what percent odds you guys think these teams have of winning the national championship? Not making it to there, not getting a couple rounds, actually winning the national championship. So we'll start at number 12 with Boise State. Mikey B.
And Jim, I know we talked about it a little bit in the in our chat earlier in the week. You want us to take this somewhat rapid fire, like at the very least limit discussion post percent.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll just get a feel what everybody thinks and kind of get as a group like an average percent kind of thing.
Sure.
And Jim, is this solely based on this graph alone, right? Based on what could happen and all that, right?
These 12 teams.
These 12 teams.
Right. But based on the matchup,
percentage chance that these 12 teams, one by one, are going to win the national championship.
Listen, call some backup. Let someone else chase the perp for a bit and participate in the bid.
I think EJ. I think you can take it for however you want it. Like if we say Boise State, you think like well they'll probably, and you want to hypothetically say they get in as an 8 and they would be here. Like,
right, that's what I'm saying. Right, because
you do a realistic percentage. I don't think it's. My brain can't wrap my head around getting them through this.
If you want to think of it from the aspect of the field's going to change, but Boise State's still going to be in there, then
right. Because based on this alone, this graphic in this bracket here, their chances are a lot higher on this bracket than it would be on when it's actually.
But the question is Boise State's percentage chance of winning the national championship.
Okay,
that's the question. I'll let your big brain
no problem
work that out for itself. Mikey B. Boise State, what percent odds?
2.5%.
All right. Ernest.
0.0.
Sean.
4.
All right. Kyle.
The optimist that I am, even though I have hate in my heart, says 5%.
I wanted to say 5, but
yeah, I'll go.
Talk me down.
I'll go 4.5%. Any team has a chance, but
I'm not a hater of this.
All right. Number 11, Clemson. Mikey B.
0. Fuck Dabo.
That's the right answer.
I would love to go there 5%, but yeah, fuck Dabo still.
All right, Sean.
1.
All right, Kyle.
-67. An entire satchel of Richards to Dabo Sweeney.
Also the right answer. Again, that since it literally can't be 0, I guess I will say like 3%. All right, number 10, Texas A&M, Mikey B.
7%.
All right, EJ.
0% because there's no way in hell they're beating any of these SEC teams at all.
All right, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's better than Boise State's chance. Give me 8. We'll double it.
All right, Kyle.
8 is a good number. I go with 8.
I'll go 12%. I need to see more. I need to see more with if it's a full-time quarterback change, and if so, I got to see more with with the new quarterback, because they certainly looked a lot better once they made the change. But would be a very hard field ahead of them, not only in their final regular season game, but also in the SEC title game. But if they can get through those, then dear God, I guess anything's up to it. Number 9, Notre Dame, Mikey B.
Should be fun.
10%.
All right.
2%.
All right, Sean.
I would say a realistic 12, but a homer 16. Give me 16%.
Very good. Kyle.
The Notre Dame hater that does not hate Notre Dame says 10%.
Okay. Well, if I gave A&M 12 and Notre Dame beat A&M, then I have to go higher. So I'll go 15%.
All right, I'm the high man.
I'm not some of the defensive lapses is what really would concern me. The deeper you get into the postseason.
Yeah.
Devin giving us 20%.
I think they're
really.
Devin says 20% chance.
Well, Devin.
Hey, now.
No,
Speaking of high man, you must be high man.
You mentioned the point about high-powered offenses and Notre Dame's defense, Jim.
Do math.
Yankees
Exactly.
are alive.
You smoke crack, don't you? But I feel like getting paired with a Tennessee, for example, in the first round could be just as dangerous. Not for nothing.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, if you escape that, or you end up with a slightly better first round matchup,
like a Penn State.
Yeah, like the deeper you end up going in, the more difficult, at least theoretically speaking, the field gets.
That's what she said.
All right, number 8, Tennessee, Mikey B.
I'm gonna go 14%.
All right, EJ.
You know what? Let's go 20%.
All right, Sean.
Much I hate to say it, I agree with EJ. 20%. That's right where I was at.
Good job, buddy.
Kyle.
Don't
gonna
encourage or coach
this
me.
dude once again copying my notes and just happens to give his answer first. 20% is correct.
Calm down, bro.
I'll go, honestly, I'm going to go about the same as Notre Dame. I'm going to say 15%. The road to here, but if they keep progressing, then we'll see. Anything's an opportunity. Devin has 15% for Tennessee. Number 7, Texas, Mike.
45%.
Damn.
All right, well that's there's the jump. There's the jump.
Yeah.
EJ.
Definitely in the 40s, 45% as well. Yeah.
All right, Sean.
First, I would like to edit my last 2, even though no one's probably writing them down. I feel like I feel like I need to put Notre Dame higher at like a 20 or 22, just because of the road they have to get there, and just like pretty much should be there. And Tennessee, I don't know if Tennessee's going to get there. I feel 20's high just because I don't know if they're going to get out of the SEC alive with that Georgia game. So I'm going to dock them down. They're going to 14. Notre Dame's going to 20.
I guess the question would be how many SEC teams do you go into the playoff? That's the question. At least I say at least 4. That's the bottom. It's 4.
You think 4?
At
I was
least
going to
4.
say 3 to 4. So yeah, I can buy 4.
Yeah.
But who am I in on now?
Texas.
Oh, Texas. Yeah, this is the jump. Texas, give me 35.
All right, Kyle.
25.
Wow. Ooh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little higher with Texas as well. And I'm gonna go 40%. Devin is 35 for Texas. Next one, number 6, Ohio State. Mikey B.
27.
All right. EJ.
30%.
All right. Sean.
I think this is my 45. I like the road there, and I like the chances once they're in.
All right, Kyle.
10.
Yeah, I'm coming back down a little bit with the Buckeyes, and I'm gonna go 20%. They are at best the second best team in the Big Ten. Joe has 15% for Ohio State. Devin is 10% for Ohio State. Last one in what would be the first round matchups. Number 5, Penn State. Mikey B.
0.
Negative 15. Because no way in fucking hell if they even get into the playoff, much less. We'll see. But yeah, no shot.
All right, Sean.
2. I'll give them 2.
You're nice.
Just because. So we can't. If I keep them in the negatives, then someone's got to give them some hope. So I'll be that guy.
We'll see more this weekend. Yeah.
Kyle.
Can I have some assistance from the soundboard, please, Jim?
We got a
0.0.
Thank you.
Suck on that, James.
Yeah. Again, because I can't say 0 because I guess 1. We'll go 1.
You can say 0.
Anything can happen. We'll say 1. Joe has 0. Devin has 0.01%.
Like I said, you can say 0 because they'd be right.
I rounded down.
There you go. All right, number 4, BYU. Mike.
I'm gonna go 15.5%.
Ooh.
EJ.
Love the story, but you know what? I'll give it a 10% chance.
Sean.
5.
All right.
At best.
Kyle.
I'm gonna milk this pick. 2.
2.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
Got it.
Oh, maybe
Got
make it 3. Sorry. Pew, pew, pew. Yeah, that's 3.
There
Pew.
you go. Yeah, I feel like this one's still pretty low. I'll go 10%. But and I think that's because if they end up with the bye, they're going to end up with a potential easier matchup if the first round can be an upset.
If I may, Jim, I feel like what they're going to do is end up hosting an SEC team that sneaks in Provo.
Well, so they're not going to win the Big 12?
They're going to win the Big 12,
so
but Boise State will be higher than 12 ranked.
Right, they'll play a Tennessee.
So whoever gets in.
Oh, so you're okay. I see what you're saying. You're saying
if there's 4 SEC teams that get in, they might get the 4th one.
Yeah.
Right. Because so you're saying that the 4 buys would be Big 10 champ, SEC champ, ACC champ, and then Boise State.
No. I'm not saying that.
I think he's saying BYU stays there, but
let's say
Boise State would be ugly.
Let's say Boise State's 11th, right? And Clemson doesn't make the playoff as I predicted in August. That SEC team that sneaks in, that's the extra one, or that Big 10 team that sneaks in, that's the extra one. That's who, for example, here it would be Penn State, but we know it won't be Penn State.
They wouldn't go to Provo, though. They would play in the Fiesta Bowl.
Excuse me. that still messes me up with the.
They don't host in the second round.
That's where my confusion was because the first round it's at the higher ranked team. The second round,
right.
Gotcha. Okay, that's where I was getting confused. I'm like, I'm going
mental
off
break.
I was saying Boise State 4 because Iowa State.
Gotcha. Okay.
No.
I see. I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. If anything, that would be Colorado that does that.
So
good. Speak it into existence, buddy.
Did we all got through BYU?
Yep.
Okay. Joe had 12%. Devin has 12%. Next one, number 3, Miami. Mikey B.
I'm gonna go. This is probably the highest team I've had so far. I'm gonna go 50% on the Canes.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, well, hold on. Hold on.
It's okay.
Fuck Clemson. Fuck Ohio State. If Georgia and Texas is a bloodbath and somebody comes out of it banged up, then you're sitting here and basically everybody aside from me has said that Oregon is questionable as the number one team in the nation. So if you're telling me that the national title game is Miami versus Oregon, they've got to at least have a 50% chance of winning that game.
I mean,
I don't think they get that far, buddy.
I do. I mean, again, based on this field, I mean, which we've already gone over how many ways it'll change, but based on this field, I mean, you would get, probably the Georgia-Texas rematch, and those two teams are going to beat each other up. If Miami can, dominate either, a bad Clemson team or what at least some people believe is an overrated Ohio State team, then you're going to possibly have a puncher's chance depending how beat up the winner of that Georgia Texas game. So I do see the logic there. I'm not faulting the logic
based on this graph. Yes, I can see the logic on that one. But obviously, I'm going. I mean,
this will drastically change next week whenever this drastically changes.
Right. Exactly.
Right. But EJ,
not even being a hater either, but I mean, look, I'll give him a 10% chance, but I really want to say 0, but 10% chance.
Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I like them. Again, storyline's great, but 30%.
Wow.
Somewhere in there.
All right, Kyle.
8. The ACC can't dominate.
Yeah, you're not going to have your conference officials when you get to these playoff games. I'll go 11% for the U. Devin has 30. Joe has, in Matt's absence, 52%. The U is back. Well played, Joe. Well played. Number 2, Georgia. Mikey B.
67.5.
My man.
All right. EJ.
I'm gonna go 65%.
Sean.
70.
Love it.
Student of the game.
50.
I'll go 60. I'll go 60. I think they've shown they are they at times can play among the best. They've struggled at times, so I'm not 100% sold on them as other years may have, but they're definitely one of the stronger in the field. We have a Georgia homer. Jordan,
and my number, I'm being conservative too, because to me it's about the matchups. If they get even a better track of the right matchups, I put the 75%. Honestly,
right?
Oh look,
I'm a huge Georgia believer.
Conservative.
So.
We're so surprised.
But they're one of the deepest teams. They have a great coaching staff. There's no reason.
Right? It's just about the matchups. If this let's say this is actually the route to the title, then it gets a little. There's a couple of pitfalls there, but yeah.
Now, EJ, again, if there are 4+ SEC teams, Georgia's probably going to end up having to play one of them.
That's what I'm saying. So
either in the second or third round.
That's my point.
And possibly the championship as well. But
familiarity will play a factor too also. So I mean, you got to give it some legs.
Devin has 50. Joe has 69%.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well,
got him.
Oh my.
And then lastly, here, number 1, Oregon. Mikey B.
Quack, quack, motherfuckers. 70. I'll go 70%.
There you go.
I won't go that high, but they got through the biggest test of the year so far. They'll play Ohio State again later in the year. Ohio State maybe. Already. We'll see.
Maybe.
As someone who's been a little apprehensive of Oregon, they've been impressive so far. Especially in the last couple weeks, been very impressive. I'll give them 60%.
All right, Sean.
I feel like 60 is fair. Yeah, I'll go right with you.
Kyle.
33%.
All right. To not give the same answer as Georgia, I will go 61% for the Ducks. I think
let's go Ducks.
If I were betting today, my national championship would be Georgia Oregon.
You know what kills me is you cheering for that fraudulent sock hawker at quarterback. I've given you probably one of the coolest taglines this season, and it just hurts my heart.
Not a fan, huh?
Quack, motherfuckers.
Devin has 80% and also adds quack motherfuckers.
Oh my lord!
And Joe has 32%. So like you, Kyle, Joe's not a believer.
Hey, listen, all I can tell you is, Mikey B, we are friends, and when Dylan Gabriel hurts you just like you did Night Nation, I am here for hugs, buddy. I got you.
All right.
You know what? And when he does, guess what? I won't shed a tear.
There you go.
Well, fuck you too.
Here's the thing. I look at it from this perspective.
I just wanted to give you a hug, you cruel son of a bitch.
And that's fine. And as soon as I see you, I'll give you the biggest hug that we always embrace and share. But I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't going to be because of Dylan Gabriel.
Fuck you, buddy.
Dylan Gabriel, Peter Gabriel, Gabriel Iglesias. I don't give a shit.
Well played. That's the fluffy guy, right?
Yeah.
Well played. All right. Let's. Dang, I wasn't ready for that. Let's go to week number 10 in college football. EJ, stop doing the jerk off the giraffe dance, please.
Don't be rude.
But for
can we retire that? Can we
I never heard of that mascot.
Starting next week.
That's hopefully after next week we can retire for good. But
I don't care what the result is. Can we just
that
retire
is the hope.
next week?
The name Jerk Off the Giraffe sounds like the worst mascot in the history.
It really
of sports.
does. Welcome in the
Jerk Off.
Our Aussie football rules.
Welcome in your mascot for your Adelaide Giraffes. Jerk off.
All right. We start Saturday, November the 2nd, big noon on Fox.
Well, that took
much to the chagrin of a lot of people. Number 4 of Ohio State. They are 6-1, a 3.5-point road favorite at number 3, Penn State, who is 7-0. Your over-under on this one is 47. Student of the game, we'll start with you.
Man, listen. Dude,
what's wrong?
So here's the thing. I'm trying to pull up my sheet, and it's not working. Can you go to the next guy real quick, Jim? I'm sorry.
That's fine. Sean, go ahead.
EJ's just sabotaging it from the van.
I didn't do anything.
He's in there hacking.
Messed up his internet.
You need a hard copy backup there, brother.
Cybersecurity 101.
Yeah, exactly.
Jim, I don't know about a chagrin, but I can tell you this. For those of us and how we feel about Penn State, maybe not chagrin. This one's going to end in a grin because this isn't going to be – I don't want to say no chance in a home game for PSU against Ohio State. The crowd's going to be nuts. So it's going to be a little wild and crazy, but when push comes to shove, they can't score as much as Ohio State can, and I think Ohio State's just going to pull away. I'll take them. You can double that spread, and I'd still take them. You could probably triple it, and I would think about taking them. I think they're going to win pretty handedly by the end of it, and because of that, I think it just slight over. I think that number is pretty fair.
Slight.
All right, very good. Kyle, you ready?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
Okay. Student of the game, Kyle Nash.
Yes.
Easiest college pick of the week. He needs a sheet to do it.
Well, no, First of all, you know what, Sean? That's fair.
Actually, the next game I think might even be easier. There was one easier one.
Goddamn. Listen, facts don't care about my feelings, Jim, and I am not above the law. There may not be hate in my heart. I may not hate Notre Dame, but damn it, that was a fact of the case, and Sean dunked on me, and there's a bruise on the top of my head for it. There's probably That's What She Said somewhere in there, but we'll move on. Ohio State is my pick. Give me the under for this one. Slight under. I think 40 is a great number. I would avoid the over-under here, Sean. I think
I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah.
All right, very good. EJ.
As you heard in the last segment, I am not a believer in Penn State, and until they can win a game that actually fucking matters, I'm buying them. Give me Ohio State to win outright and cover, and give me the over, a slight over as well.
All right, that's fair. Mikey,
imagine trying to pitch to Shohei Ohtani and be like, "We need a ground ball here." He'll be, "Well, then you pitch to him." Like anything they try to get him, we need a ground ball. We need a fly. He's like, I'm just going to do something completely.
Yeah,
different. It's fun to watch.
So I don't have Matt's picks. Matt has not turned in picks yet. So once he submits them, everything will be finalized.
Ohio State.
You didn't pick the games that he wanted to pick there, Jim. So of course he's not picking the diva.
The diva.
That being said, I think this game is going to be a interesting sporting contest. I think it's going to be a back and forth game, and I think what is going to bring me to my pick is because of what happened this past weekend. Give me the Pennsylvania State University plus the points, because I watched Ohio State look like absolute dog water against Nebraska.
But Nebraska's so good.
Sir, I don't worry. I've never said Nebraska's good. Nobody.
No.
You're not going to hear me talk about Patrick Mahomes the second.
Would actually be the
Rayola,
right?
What's his name? Rayola?
Dylan.
It would be Patrick LaVon Mahomes the third junior. I think is
Dylan Ricola.
Third junior.
Really? Yeah, the third.
I actually feel like that's actually. I feel like that's actually a shirt. Just the full Patrick LaVon Mahomes the third junior. Coming to tpublic.com.
Yeah.
This week.
That being said, I haven't been impressed by anything that Ohio State has done all year, including the game against Oregon. I'm not impressed by anything that Will Howard does, even though people are trying to tell me he should be a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. Ain't happening.
Are there people outside of Columbus, Ohio, that are saying that?
There are people that are saying that he should be invited to New York, and I think all.
Wait,
of them
who?
are smoking
What?
crack. Go on Twitter.
No, listen. Okay, guys.
There's verified people.
Please. First of all, anybody can be verified. Haven't you seen what
I'm sorry, I don't pay.
done to the cesspool? You don't have.
My bad.
People can. Mike, take it easy. This isn't
can.
about you. You're having me here like Jules from Inglewood here talking to Vincent Vega. Okay, you don't watch TV, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on this invention they show shows, right? Yes, you are aware there is Twitter, and then on this Twitter there are things called blue checks that you can buy, right? So I say all that to say, shut your ass. Travis Hunter is still safe. Cam Ward's still a thing. It's fine. Fly him. Who gives a shit? He's not going to win.
But will you do me a favor and put Joe's comment up there so I can retort, because I'm gonna retort.
Well, Joe says, "Burn, you're crazy. Big game Franklin, really, potentially without Allard."
You don't know. You don't know Mike.
Okay, shut up.
Sorry.
When I'm reading the comment, shut up.
Can we start a counter of how many shut-ups EJ gets?
He says, not an OSU fan, but really, Mike.
Yes, really, because what has Ohio State really done to prove that they are that much better?
Just the same way that quack motherfucker didn't prove they were all that great by beating them owned by only one, maybe?
Correct. And it's because their quarterback was a moron and didn't know time management, and their spray-painted haired coach bitch didn't have their team on the line. But we're not going to address those situations.
Also, and respectfully too, also, this is Michael's brand.
No, it's not my brand. This is me genuinely feeling this Ohio State team is not as good as the modern media is telling you that they are. They've gotten by skating past teams that are not good. Nebraska is not good.
Okay, so are we saying that Oregon's a little bit overrated if they just barely beat an overrated?
We're saying Oregon did their job. That's what it is. The teams that are at
nobody says Georgia's overrated.
I mean, I'm not going to defend Ohio State. I don't like Ohio State. So I don't want to defend them. But
people don't say Georgia's overrated if they have a close SEC loss to a 2-loss SEC team.
Okay.
By one at home, or
that's fake news by you right there, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Okay, as much as James Franklin is the coach of Penn State, James Franklin is not going to be one of the 11 people on offense or the 11 people on defense that are playing on the field.
But the guys that played for Penn State are, and I don't think pound for pound they're as good. I just don't.
Okay, and that's fine. I'm taking Penn State in the under, and we can
Mike,
move on
next week when you're celebrating, can you please
He's
remember?
either going to look like a genius, or
what do we say for the record?
You're not saying for the record yet. I'm still trying. I'm still being Sean, and then you jump in. Sean, go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was pretty much done there. Like I was picking based on the field. Not, I mean, does having Franklin help my pick? I think so, but I just think Ohio State's gonna push the score up.
I just want the record to show the guy on the panel that resisted Mike the least is me. Okay, go ahead, EJ.
For the record, Mike, I hope you're fucking correct on this one. I can't stand the Buckeyes.
And Mike, is the Penn State with the points, is that also an actual upset, or just they're going to cover the 3.5?
I'm taking Penn State plus 3.5 and the under.
This is not a win outright choice.
They very well could, but my prediction for this is Penn State plus the points, so they could lose by 3, and I can still get the cover.
Gotcha. Hear me
And
right.
the
You
under.
know, you other weeks where you've made picks like that, and you
Correct.
wanted to hit the home.
That's why I wanted to quantify it, because what I'm going to say is I don't believe in either of these teams, so I'm going to give the edge to the team that's going to have 110,000 fucking crazy people screaming. Penn State's going to cover. Penn State's going to win this game. And I will take.
Jim just jinxed you.
Jim just did it.
And I will take a slight over.
See,
Do
here's the thing.
a bomb.
I hope you're doing
that was great.
what I did in
Bombed it.
Dallas last week.
I really.
No, I
hope-
actually believe it, because I don't think either of these teams are very good at all.
Homer.
And I do think that Will Howard will get impacted by this crowd, and I think Ohio State's going to get impacted by this crowd as much as they did in Oregon.
Let me ask: is this all based on just the Nebraska game alone, Mike and Jim?
No, I base it on the season. I mean, like, again, both of these teams have not had a difficult road to get here. Neither team has looked impressive to get here. Ohio State, they've pushed the score against bad teams in the fourth quarters. But they've been in close matchups this year with, like, Marshall. Michigan State was close.
Yep.
Obviously they lost to Oregon, and they were in a dogfight with Nebraska. So,
Penn
like,
State had their struggles too. I mean,
they absolutely did.
Yeah.
They absolutely did. They struggled to put away USC. They struggled to put away Bowling Green.
Wisconsin.
Neither of these teams is at fault.
Right.
But I'm just going to go with what is the craziest crowd in football when it wants to be.
Because every team has had a struggle or a loss altogether. So that's all,
Okay, here it is. Ohio State has played 2 road games. One of them at Michigan State, one of them in Eugene. They lost in Eugene, and that crowd was loud. They're going to play a team that is going to have a ram. Hold on, Kyle. I think you might be muted there.
Oh no, I'm saying it quietly by 1 point. Let's not act like
But
we're
what
all
you're not. Okay, but again, what I'm getting at is I'm saying that they playing against a rabid team that's going to have a rabid fan base. They played bad and had a lot of dumb penalties in Eugene because of the crowd. I think it could happen again.
Lena, let me make your argument a little bit better. What's the other game they struggled on the road?
Well, the only other road game they played was Michigan State. They've only played 2 road games all season.
And they look pretty awful playing
Yes.
Sparky at home, right? In Lansing, right?
Correct.
That's the point.
They're not a road team.
Yeah, I mean, the Michigan State game, I mean, it was 28-7 at half, finished 38-7. But yeah. Okay, let's go through here. Devin had Ohio State in the over. Joe has Ohio State in the under. We move on to number 13, Indiana. They're 8-0 and 7.5 point road favorite at those Spartans, Michigan State, who are 4-4. You're over under on this one. I did this because that's where Matt is right now. He's out there on a work trip. Your over under on this one is 51. This one Saturday, 3:30 Eastern time on Peacock. Kyle.
This Indiana team's the biggest fucking fraud in college football right now. Give me the points. Not give me the points. Give me the cover by Indiana, and I'll say the over. And to hell with Indiana getting ranked this high. This is absolutely stupid.
All right, Sean.
I think you're calling a Michigan State cover there.
No. I said.
Indiana cover.
Indiana covers the spread.
Okay, so they're gonna win.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He just still thinks they're overrated.
I'm being clear.
They're overrated, but Michigan State sucks.
Bingo. Facts don't
Yes.
care about my feelings, Sean. That's the point.
That's true. Okay, good. Then I'm with you. I'm going to take the. I'm going to take Indiana as well. I'm going to take the under. I don't like 51. I like it. I don't think Michigan State's going to score anything.
I should have said a slight over instead of just
Slight
outright,
under.
because I'm mad at you. It's a good pick, dude. It's a good pick.
All right, EJ.
I'm with Sean. I love the story of Indiana. I know they're a little overrated and maybe a little fraudulent. We'll see. We'll see next month because there's a tough games coming up. But give me Indiana to win this game to cover, and give me the under.
All right, Mikey B.
Give me the Hoosiers in the over.
Yeah, Indiana easily covers. Indiana hits the over by themselves. Next one, Kentucky is 3-5. They travel to number 7 Tennessee, who is 6-1, a 16-point home favorite. You're over under on this one, 45.5. Saturday night at 7:45 Eastern time on the SEC network. Let's do the game.
Wildcats, Demon Cats, Jesse and the Pussycats. I don't care. Tennessee. And just the over because I think Tennessee gets it by themselves.
All right, Sean.
Will you stop putting Kentucky in these picks? Every year I get like 2 or 3 of them. I pick against them and I get embarrassed, and I pick against them and I get embarrassed, and then I finally turn coat and I pick with them and I get even more embarrassed every year. I can't pick Kentucky games. But anyway, Blue Moon of Kentucky. Sorry, Rocky Top. Blue Moon of Kentucky is a better song, but Rocky Top's going to take this one. Give me Tennessee and screw it, the over. I don't even know.
Excellent Maui appropriation, Jim.
Yeah, very good. EJ.
For me, Tennessee one of the biggest wild cards in that top 10 for me. They continue to roll here. Give me Tennessee to cover easy and give me the what happened here? The over. Sorry, over.
Over. All right, Mikey B.
I don't know about you guys, but I watched the hype video where they unleashed the black unis for this game. Tennessee might score 60 by themselves. Give me the Volunteers. Give me the over on Tennessee's team points. Give me the over on Tennessee scoring all the fucking points. Vols by 1 billion.
You just volunteered a pretty good Tennessee pick right there, Mikey Byrne.
Stop it.
Not bad, Kyle. Not bad.
Devin has Tennessee in the over. I'm going to take Kentucky to cover the 16. Tennessee will win, but Kentucky will cover the 16. And I will take the under because that's the only way that they're going to make that happen.
Yeah.
Big Jim, you're a little frisky tonight, Big Jim. These picks. Interesting.
Went outright earlier. This one.
Wow. No fencing on this bitch.
I guess we'll see. Yeah,
his name isn't Ernest.
He picked them in
Not
the
you,
line.
EJ.
121 and 30 seconds. Ernest Christian declares that Jim is not a fence center.
And then this last one, and Kyle, I swear to God, I only did this because they're both ranked, whether they should be or not. Number 18 Pitt is 7-0. They travel to number 20 SMU, who is 7-1 and an 8-point home favorite. Your over/under is 59. This one Saturday night, 8 Eastern time on the ACC network. Student of the game.
Well, if you were listening to the Earnestly Speaking podcast, Student of the Game report, you would know
I haven't gotten there yet.
You would know that I refer to this as the CI Bowl, short for criminal informant. Some fraud's going to narc out another fraud in this humpy bumpy, and it's not going to be SMU. Give me the under because 59 is a little bit too high. See, that was good. If we were on mine, I totally would have done the Dragnet one. That's
fair.
Why am I voice?
Yeah, thank you.
There you go. So, yeah, Sean can't handle the chord. Yeah, give
I'd
me.
say we derailed, but I'm not even sure if there were tracks at any point.
No, never were.
Tracks are for losers. I don't even care who's favored. It's SMU that's going to get worked. We'll leave it at that.
All right, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a more fun matchup than you think it is, at least on the actual screen, because I think, like you said, whether they're both frauds, whether they're very similar as far as where they're at. I think SMU is going to pull out the win here, but Pitt's defense forces a lot of turnovers. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull away. I think they're going to get a pick or two. SMU is going to rely on the run game. I think it's going to end up being close, so I'm going to take Pitt to cover. But they're gonna stay even with each other and push it over. Both teams have gone over a bunch this year. I'll take over and Pitt to cover.
All right, EJ.
All right, Kyle. After this week, you stop bitching about Pittsburgh being ranked. So give me SMU to win. Although I will take Pittsburgh on the points. And you know what? Give me some pew fireworks here. Give me the over in this one.
All right, Mikey B.
Has everybody taken Pitt plus the points?
EJ just keeps following me. I don't know. I
my notes too. To be clear.
So everyone's taking Pitt plus the points.
Here comes Mike.
Here comes Michael. Go ahead, Mike.
Except Mike.
Let's go SMU, baby.
Listen, Mike. If as somebody who's a dealer for a living, you should really not have such an obvious tell. Okay.
I mean, I couldn't just keep agreeing with Ernest. I mean, I've made a decision here that if I agree with him more than
he's just flipping his cards like this.
No,
Sean, my proxy.
No. See, here's the thing. I've agreed with Sean before. Me and Sean have gotten numerous correct answers.
No.
I can't with this guy anymore.
No, well, fair.
Unfortunately, I've been with him every pick. So
when it starts with, has everybody picked we know what's happening?
Well, no, actually, I was confused by your pick, so I was just trying to like ask without asking because I didn't want to derail the segment anymore. I had SMU this morning whenever I made my picks on the spreadsheet. I'm taking SMU in the over. I can't deal with Pitt.
I will definitely take the over in this one because not only does Pitt cover, but in triple overtime they finally get their victory. Pitt moves to 8-0.
Yeah, and then
they win in triple overtime.
Yeah, and then next Tuesday's podcast, if Kyle's fucking bitching, like, what are we fucking doing?
I mean, to be fair, he would be bitching about one of these teams being ranked.
Hold on. Stop this bullshit right here. Do either of you two chuckle fucks here actually think these are top 25 teams? Exactly.
Actually, right now they both are, Kyle.
Actually, I would. Here's the thing. I would say that SMU.
That's what those
is top,
numbers are.
I would say SMU is a top 25 team.
Hey Jim,
this year I don't know who's a top 25 team.
Please don't open up an HR department yet. I don't want Mikey Byrne to get caught on whatever drugs he's just admitted to taking.
You know what? I'll pass that drug test because at this point, the teams that are unranked,
we're an open policy company here.
Teams that just missed the AP 25: Vandy, Memphis, Tulane, Navy. I'm taking SMU over probably all of them.
And Mike agrees with me again. There we go. Good job, Mike.
I also think they're better than Washington State, Illinois, and Missouri, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, that's a conversation we can have. You have some.
Are those teams on the docket? I don't understand what's happening.
This is called Mike's being a psychopath again. Jim.
Kyle's angry. Mike's devil's advocate, and Jim's feeling saucy. EJ, I'm with you. That last pick, he said it with an energy I haven't heard.
Oh my God, our voice reason is EJ fucking Christian. Come on.
Jim's on the sauce.
Nope, it's Halloween weekend, and for some reason we have the evil twin and Ernest trying to act like the two angels while the three of us are the devils this time.
Yeah, we can't let that happen.
We've been fooling you the whole time.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move ahead to week number 9 in the National Football League. 2 teams on a bye this week. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers and the San Francisco 49ers on the bye this week. And we will start with Sunday 1:00 on Fox. We have the 3-4 Cowboys traveling to Atlanta to take on the 5-3 Falcons. They are a 2.5-point home favorite. Your over-under on this one is 52. Mikey B, will start with you.
Give me coupons in the fraud cons and the over.
All right, EJ.
This is a spot where Atlanta historically will fuck up when you think you should take them. It's just hard, but
I'm going to take Dallas.
I want to.
Somebody should
do it.
I'm not going to. I come on.
So why are we talking? Why are we talking about
the Cowboys are done, man. They are fucking done. That game was not close. That score was not indicative of the game last week Sunday. So give me Atlanta win this game, the fraud cons, and give me the under.
All right, Sean.
All right, following EJ's dialogue with himself, I will. God, I've been trying, as much as I hate Dallas, I've been trying to predict the coming out party, and it's just not coming out, man. It's not. It's in a hole, and I know the second I give up on them, I'm gonna be angry at myself because they're gonna finally do it. But I got to take the Falcons here. I can't seriously pick them another time, and give me the over, I guess.
That was literally me last week with the Niners game, picking Dallas.
I'm like, this is how disappointed I am picking against Dallas. It's the most ridiculous thing.
You got issues, then.
Well, I've been jinxing them the whole time, I think, and now I'm taking that jinx back.
I think you feel sorry for them. Some sympathy there for the Cowboys.
No, there's not. I've known him long enough to know better than that.
I know.
Student of the game.
Well, the only Cowboy coming out party that's going to take place is the Singer and YMCA over there for the Village people. I have the Falcons taking care of business.
Yeah, Falcons easy.
One of the members of the Village people a Cowboy? I'm trying to remember. I don't.
No,
there was a Cowboy in the Village.
Are you taking the over or the under?
Oh, excuse me. The over because it's the Falcons, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean the
Cowboys back mountain reference would have been more adult-like and more modern.
I wanted it to be more lighthearted and I don't want a movie that makes you cry and stuff. You know, when it comes to comedy, I can't.
How do you know I don't cry to YMCA?
What's that?
I cry during YMCA. but I cry most days.
Watch you dance.
Anyway, moving on.
Is it because watching Trump dance to it all the time? Or
See, look, you're so desperate to interrupt. I already made the dancing joke. You split tooth mother. Anyways.
All right. Anyway, Jim.
Cowboys will score a lot of points when it doesn't matter anymore. That's their MO. So I'll definitely take the over. The Falcons are definitely going to cover. Devin had the Cowboys and the over. Good luck
Thanks,
with that.
Devin.
All right, next one Sunday, 1:00 Eastern time on Fox. It is the 2-6 Raiders traveling to Cincinnati, take on the 3-5 Bengals, who are a 7.5 point home favorite. 45 is your over under. Mikey B.
Bengals over.
All right, EJ.
So we knew what he was.
Yeah, if you heard me in a podcast earlier today, man. Look, the Bengals 3-5 very disappointing, obviously. That being said, this is the week they turn shit around. I still think they'll go to the playoffs. I still go into the playoffs.
Start picking against us so we actually have a chance.
I'm sorry. Wait, you said the Bengals are still going to the playoffs?
What do you say, Jim?
I just said. Did say that. Look at the AFC wildcard picture, by the way.
All I know,
but the Browns have no shot. So
Playoffs.
At least
Playoffs.
Yes.
Playoffs.
EJ.
Yes.
Okay, so EJ's taking let's just
okay. Hold on.
Before he starts talking to himself, 3 different positions.
No, for the first time in 8 weeks of this show, I'm actually going to say that Toolshed isn't 1,000% wrong here because the AFC wildcard picture is it's wide open.
Muddled.
Because you tell
I'm
me
with
that you think that the Browns, the Jets, the Dolphins, the fucking Patriots, the fucking Chargers, you think any of those teams have
yeah, and the Broncos
are locked into playoff spots? The reality of the situation is this: you give Pittsburgh or Baltimore a wild card spot, and every other spot in the playoffs is wide the fuck open.
Literally said this on the podcast stage, Cal. You heard this, right?
I don't think he's as wrong as you guys are making it out. Are they
I'm
drawing
just making
dead?
fun of him for talking to himself.
Well, and here's the thing to also do it with the AFC
Like
wildcard
out
picture.
loud.
At this
He's
point,
not.
based on things are looking, 9 wins might be the barometer now. So can they win another 6
EJ, are you
games?
taking the Bengals?
Oh, without question. Yeah, Bengals the over.
Okay,
They're
are they going to
blowout.
score enough points to push it over?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
He didn't say
Great.
the
Then I'll go to my pick.
All right,
I
yeah.
would like.
Sorry, I broke my brain a little.
I would like. I mean, it's fun with the Raiders, but God, they don't know anything they're doing. They don't know who's running the ball. They don't know anything. Give me the Bengals. Bengals. I'm not with like the Bengals could turn it around. I think they already have. Like they're rounding the corner. So I'll take the Bengals and the 45. I'll take over on that.
All right, let's do the game.
I think the Bengals might cover the 45 themselves with this
They
one.
might.
Let's be clear about one particular thing. After they win this game, can we please stop being quite this optimistic? Because what's going to happen is they're going to win this game, and then everybody's going to be reminded how bad their defense is. I don't have their schedule in front of me. I think they have one more easy team, and then ish is going to happen. They have AFC North battle.
EJ will have him in his top 5 next week.
And by the way,
they played the Raiders, then they played Baltimore, the Chargers, bye week.
Okay, so this is the last one.
Pittsburgh, Dallas, the Titans, Cleveland,
Dallas
Denver,
is the easy one.
Pittsburgh. So
Dallas is
every
the easy
team,
one.
every team that they need to jump, they play at some point down the stretch. So
That's
to
what
say
I'm
that the Cincinnati Bengals control their own destiny would not be the most
I think
wild.
they could win half of those and be where EJ says they could be. If they win half those and it's the right half, they could be in the wild card picture.
Like I said.
okay, wait. They're what's their record right now? 3-5.
3-5.
That means they need to win what? 6 of the next 9. If they win half their games, they're short.
No, just half of that little 5 or whatever he just the first 5.
No,
he
that's the
said.
rest of their schedule.
Yeah, they're still short, homie.
You got Dallas. That's 1.
Dallas,
Not wrong.
Dallas, Tennessee split
Cincinnati's
with
a better
Pittsburgh.
team right now. than
They
Dallas.
could beat the
And it's not even
Chargers.
close.
Okay.
All right, we'll deal with the Bengals
We'll do
in
that
their
later.
playoff.
Jim.
We'll deal with the Bengals in their
Next
playoff
week's show.
situation another week. But for this week, Bengals easily cover, and I'll take the over on that one. Speaking of teams that should easily cover, the Washington Commanders are 6-2 and 3.5 point road favorites at the New York Giants, who I don't know what their record is. I forgot to change it because they
2-6.
lost last night. 2-6. They still suck. The over under on this one is
More on that later.
43. Sunday, 1:00 Eastern time on Fox. Mikey B.
Yeah, don't think too hard on this one, guys.
Commanders in the overpass. Move on.
EJ.
Commanders in the under.
Sean.
Commanders in the over.
Come on,
And
Sean. Team playing quite well.
See, EJ fucked it up because all you should have to do for me is play Rick Sanchez on the soundboard, Jim.
Guy gets it.
Yes, this guy gets it. Referring to the evil twin and, of course, Mikey Byrne.
Yeah, Commanders over, easy. Giants, you still suck. And an actual good game we picked this week. Sunday, 4:25 Eastern time on Fox. It is the 6-1 Detroit Lions. They are a 3.5-point road favorite at 6-2 Green Bay. The over/under 47.5. Mikey B.
I can't wait to watch Ernest stub all 10 of his 10 fucking green toes. Lions in the over.
EJ.
The thing is, you're going to get agreement as well. Lions in the over.
Nope.
Sean.
Yeah, I mean, this one looks like a top billing kind of thing. But by the way, I have to plug it only because I saw it when I was doing some research this week. The Lions are officially right now at plus 100 in point differential, plus the century mark going into this week. That trend does not stop. Lions in the over.
All right, Kyle.
Keep me with the Lions in the over. Without Aiden Hutchinson, they get Jordan Love to make some mistakes, too, in true Favrean fashion.
Look, spoiler alert, Lions are my number one team in the NFL again this week. So I will take Lions plus and the over as well.
Isn't Jordan Love hurt also?
He's banged up.
Yeah.
I think
there's some Willis whispers, but I don't think I think
playing. Yeah, I think he's still playing.
I don't think we're far enough into the injury week to know that for sure, but I would doubt that he misses at this point.
Yeah.
Somebody who covered the game that you're talking about for Fans First Sports Network in the Duval Dive.
But if you have him on your fantasy team, I think there's a big risk he doesn't finish the game.
Correct.
I wouldn't, unless you have no backup or whatever, I probably wouldn't play him in this matchup. Devin has the Lions and the over as well. So the end of the picks as the Capitals just take a 5-3 empty net lead.
Suck
over
it, Ernest.
No, it's a good thing there's no
New York Rangers.
But I would say,
let's go to the security van.
Get out and vote, bitch.
So is it
All
tool
right,
time?
as
Is
we
EJ's a
do.
tool, or what is happening?
yes, it
Pretty
is.
much what it is. I think I just finally got that joke.
No, that's
It
what
took you a long time, brother.
I always get distracted by the theme music, and then I'm like, oh, he's the tool.
Yes,
I get it.
It was what 3 years ago now, Jim?
3, yeah.
It's 4 years now. This is season 4.
I've
You're
had
right, it
tiny
was
kids
first.
the whole time. I've been in and out of the podcast. You're lucky I made picks.
Yeah, that's
All
what I'm telling you.
Sean, I'm very proud of you, by the way.
Shut the fuck up, EJ.
Fuck you, Kyle.
So you should be
Wow.
so lucky. Moving on.
This is my segment now. Get out of here.
Look at your segment.
It is his segment.
You got
Just
the
back
first
off.
word. Here,
Kyle.
back off. But the story is he made a power ranking so bad. I said, EJ, you tool, and it stuck. It's that simple.
To
Well,
be
that
fair,
completely
you've been
makes
cloning my rankings for like fucking 12 years now. So
Not
whatever.
all of them. When you get it right, I tell you. You just don't
do.
get
Yeah,
it
those
right.
three
All right,
times.
go ahead there, Hammer Drill. You
Yeah,
got
those
this.
3 times in 12 years you've gotten them.
Okay, Beers at 10. Calm down, okay?
Yeah, that was my one slip up in 4 years. All right, EJ, what is your bottom 5?
All right, look right, Kyle.
I am.
Thank you.
Hey,
All right, bottom 5. Here we go. 28 Giants, 29 Patriots, 30 the Browns, 31 Titans, 32 Panthers.
Yeah, I don't. I would probably have the Jets in there.
I do,
no.
but more on that later.
More on that later.
There's a team in South Beach that would like to make a phone call.
Hold on one second. Wait. Hold on 1 second. Because I thought I did have the Jets in there. No, that was last. Dude, you got it wrong. I have just a 30, buddy.
Did I put the wrong?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
you were like reading EJ and just
no.
put
I
the
have
Browns.
20. I have both New York teams.
Okay.
28,
Yeah.
28
So he
Lions,
does,
29 Patriots, 30 the Jets.
you're right. Jets
31
should be at
Titans.
30. It's going to be wrong on the other graphic as well.
EJ wants the Browns at 9.
Don't say.
Yeah, Jets 30. Okay, then yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm not going to spend much time on it, but I guess I don't really understand how you had the Raiders at 28 last week. They lost to the Chiefs. You had the Giants out last week. They lost to They were in a close loss to the Steelers.
Oh, no, the Steelers, that's right.
I don't necessarily understand the swapping of the two, but
a 7-point loss
there, but they beat
a 7-point loss to the greatest team in football history is better than a close loss to
Homer.
I'm using his.
Patriots are third in the AFC,
and you'd be
Steve
right,
Malone's
Michael.
not on your bottom 5.
I know I was right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, EJ, who's your top 10?
Top 10. Here we go. Number 10, the Steelers. Number 9, the Commanders. Number 8, the Texans. 7, Packers. 6, Vikings. 5, Bills. 4, Ravens. 3, Eagles. 2, Lions. And, of course, number 1, Chris Jones. And go. Let's fight.
Where did you have the Steelers?
I don't hate it.
Last week?
10. That didn't move.
I feel like the separation between the Eagles and the Commanders is a little weird.
So
I feel like those two teams are trying to decide who's the best.
True.
In the East,
So, Sean,
and I don't think the Eagles
Sean,
are that much better than the Commanders.
I've been saying this since
if at all.
Okay, Sean, real quick. So I've been saying this since they were 2-2. The Eagles 2-2. I said this, that until I see that first Eagles Commanders game.
Yeah.
And
you've been high on the Eagles the whole time.
And as long as the Eagles keep winning games, which they have been doing.
Yeah. I mean, you're consistently wrong.
I want to. Yeah. That game's for the record. That game's in 2 weeks on Thursday Night Football for the record. Yeah. Until I see that game, I still think the Eagles win the division.
Is that a Thursday game?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's terrible.
If I may, the Eagles beating up on a team, respectfully, Mikey Byrne, that has had an offense that Janet Jackson would look at and say, put on more fucking clothes, please, does not put them in the number 3 spot. This is an asinine play by you. I don't give a damn how high you've been on them. You know what else you've been high on? Don't do meth. Okay? How about that for 30 seconds?
Well, don't do math either. Don't do math.
But I like it. I like it, Kyle.
But the punchline is this. You
Do math. Don't smoke crack.
Correct. Eagles are worse and should be ranked lower than the following teams for now. Ravens, Bills, Vikings, and Packers. They should be 8th.
I have no problem with the Eagles ahead of the Ravens after what happened against Cleveland. I feel like you can react to that however you want.
Let me finish here, Sean, real quick. If you're actually properly punishing the Ravens for this week, which it's very for you to do so, there's no way they're 4. Somebody is too high in both instances.
No, Eagles-Ravens are probably close, but they should be like I forget where I have them, 5, 6, 6, 7, somewhere in there.
If you put the Ravens as low as 7 or 8, I could live with it because the Browns are a bad team too. If you want to punish them, I am down. Okay, but there's no way you're 3 and 4 are correct.
What'd you do, Ernest? Punish them 1 spot?
How are either of them better than the
one
Bills?
spot. Yeah.
The Bills are smoking teams and got better with Amari Cooper, and Josh Allen's still better than. I mean, you can tell me Lamar Jackson's an MVP quarterback all you want, but Josh Allen, I'd take him all day. I feel there's really nothing going wrong for the Bills minus maybe some pass defense.
Lamar Demetrius Jackson is asked to do more every week than Josh Allen is.
Also, the reason I raised the Bills.
Well, it's harder for him.
Also, I raised over the Bills because they actually head-to-head also did play a part in that.
But both are the best running back on their team. Although, actually, Josh Allen is probably more important as a runner for his team than Lamar is now.
James Cook looked pretty good this week.
I mean,
here's
you had the Eagles at 8 last week,
correct?
And the Packers, the Texans, and the Bills were all ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
And all those teams won. The Bills also won very convincingly. I don't. Again, no offense to the Bengals. I don't see how a win over the Bengals is a 5-spot jump.
Not just a win, a convincing blowout on the road.
The Bills had a convincing blowout win against the Seahawks.
Yeah, and they got rewarded for as such too. Also, didn't they? What were we last week? There was 7 last week. That went.
You moved them 2.
Okay.
What? The Falcons aren't even in the top 10. I'm just picking up.
No, they're not. That had been 2 weeks. That Seattle loss was pretty bad.
What?
The Bills also went.
They are not better than the Steelers, dude.
The Bills also went. Hold on. The Bills also went to Seattle.
Okay.
And cleaned their clock, and the Bills were
and
ahead.
They got
of the
rewarded.
Eagles.
What do you worry about? They got rewarded for the win. I mean, not like they didn't move at all.
But the Eagles got over rewarded. Is my point.
Okay. The Vikings are ahead of the Commanders. Okay, Jim, you're not on the sauce. EJ is.
Yeah.
I mean, you keep You keep telling me
I
that
also don't like the
it's
Commanders not moving.
Because they were at 9.
Well, I mean,
Daniels
literally,
proved he could still ball.
literally
And
a
then
Hail
they're
Mary for
still
losing the
at 9.
game. So that's a great story.
and the
but-
and the Steelers were literally a strip sack from TJ Watt away from playing overtime against the goddamn Giants.
Giants were not scoring that game because they don't score.
That's kind of
He's
perfect
not
to this
wrong.
point, Chief.
Right, like that's
Daniel Jones is awful.
The fucking Steelers could not score a red zone touchdown if their life fucking depended on it last night. He literally looked like it was Seattle in the Super Bowl trying to throw a slant pass that's getting picked off. Why aren't you running Najee Harris inside the fucking
So are we
10-yard
arguing
line?
the Steelers and the Falcons? Is that what we're arguing here?
I have the Falcons and I have the Steelers out because they looked like absolute dog
What
shit.
is in a couple minutes? What is a couple minutes? But
Look, I'm not gonna.
But I will
stop
also
anybody
say
from
this-
bashing Pittsburgh ever.
But I will also say this as
that's
everyone
a
keeps
weird play.
deciding to pour
Giants
gasoline on the
defense is
Bengal
good,
fire.
Mike. The Giants defense is good.
I literally
hate to
watched
say it,
Russell
but it's
Wilson
good
go
enough.
behind 3 wide receivers and have a wide open lane for him to run, and instead he tried to throw it behind somebody. Again, I will be the person that slanders Russell Carrington Wilson on this show because nobody else seems to be able to. At the end of the day,
Russell Wilson's
Hold the
great.
fuck on now, Mike.
Get him, Kyle.
No,
EJ, no, you shut your ass. EJ, how many years did I take a dump on Russell Carrington Wilson before he became Russell Carrington Wilson?
You did.
Look, what you do on your own time is yours, Kyle.
Thank you,
And-
Sean Hush. Now, has he looked great? I agree with you that he hasn't, Mike, but being a member of the Steelers, he doesn't have to. It's TJ Watt that's the damn MVP, as you mentioned. By the way, I'm on your side of the argument with what he's doing with the Steelers, if you'll remember. So get this: nobody will criticize Russell Carrington messes.
well, no one wanted to dunk on Ernest for having him in the top 10. We all wanted to say that it was fine.
Dude, I just said it was Falcons. What the?
I'm sorry. I can't trust a team who got blown out by Seattle 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry.
Can I see everyone else?
Oh,
See if I can find a Kyle mistake.
Don't give a
I mean,
shit.
can I also finish
Where's
my Bengals
Kyle's
take?
mistake?
yeah,
That-
Mike.
that-
You were
that no one-
making a point. We gotta watch.
Ooh, Mike, look at this sexy pick here. The
Okay,
Saints
so-
28. Oh, you too, Jim.
Hold on. Can I finish
Good.
my fucking
Yeah,
Bengals
let
take? Once in my
everybody let
goddamn life.
fucking Mike finish his goddamn point.
Because all I saw in the fucking the group chat on Facebook was fucking the Bengals aren't good. The Bengals aren't this. Well, guess what? A fucking interception, a fumble, and a turnover on downs is the reason why that score ended up being 20 points. Let's be very fucking transparent. The Bengals have not been able to hold on to the football all year. If they finish any of those drives, the Eagles don't, quote, blow the Bengals out. It was a 7-point game until they decided to do what they've done all fucking year, which isn't being able to hold on to the goddamn football. At the end of the day, that game wasn't a blowout victory for the fucking Eagles. The score may look at it, but that means you didn't watch the fucking game. At the end of the day, it's this. The fact of the matter is I don't think the Eagles beat the Bills. I don't think they beat the Ravens. I don't think they beat the Texans.
Okay.
While I agree with the last statement there, Mike, I feel like the take on the Bengals game is absolutely horrendous because
Shocking.
there's a lot
I'm
of
so
teams that we've
surprised.
talked up on this podcast because they don't need much performance on the offense because those kind of defensive takeaways are part of the game. And the Eagles' defense is what's kept them in the game despite the lack of scoring in the first half. The Eagles' defense has played pretty lights out over the past 4 weeks. So it's not surprising to me that they took the ball away 2 out of 3 drives. And you can tell me, well, the Bengals didn't hold on to the ball. The Eagles might have just taken the ball. Like they forced them into scenarios where they had to throw. I'm not trying to tell you,
Mike
was
Gesicki
the score
fumbling
inflated?
is
Yes.
a real force.
But was it a 1-score game? No. I watched the game. The Eagles just shat the bed for an entire quarter and a half. You ran the ball for like 10. You held the ball for like 10 minutes in the first quarter. The Eagles took to the second quarter to score, which, by the way, still no first quarter touchdowns. But this one, I'll give it to Matt, is trivial. But the Eagles let the score, their own score, be low for most of the first half, and you guys just didn't take advantage of that because the Eagles' defense is good.
You scored 10 points in the last 4 minutes of the game.
Okay.
You won by 20.
That's a 2-score
possession-
game then, Mike.
And you were only up by 7 entering the fourth quarter.
Mike,
you guys
if we
are acting
scored
like
10 points in the last 4 minutes. And
whatever.
it's a 20-point
Again.
win. That's a 2-score game.
Again,
I'm just telling you, the game, yes, the game was very
And I
good for
watched the
3
whole
quarters,
fucking
but it's a
thing, too.
4-quarter game.
And I watched the whole thing too. The Eagles are not good in the first half. This
They're
wasn't
not.
a blowout. This isn't a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. You guys look at a box score. The box score makes it look like a blowout. but we're not talking about how they handed them the extra 10 points. If they score on any of those drives, it's a 1-possession game with 4 minutes left.
But they didn't, Mike.
To support
For the record, I only had the Eagles move up 1 spot this week because I'm still not convinced that they are as
I didn't
good
move
as
them super far. I
some
think I had.
folks.
I'm the one that was a lot more.
Right,
Oh my God.
You're the moron. Leave us that.
Calm down, Kyle. Calm down, Kyle.
And the whole
Let's see your
conversation was directed at Ernest.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
And I'm the only person with the Eagles behind the Commanders, so don't act like I'm taking a stance here.
I have the Commanders
Eagles
at
are great.
4.
Oh,
By
you
the
do
way.
as well.
put those out.
Your list and my list have been incredibly close. Over
Right.
the last
Until I see the Commanders beat the Eagles, I think the Eagles are better than the Commanders right now. That's
right, because you take the last like 14 years into consideration with Bill.
I'm on the other one. I want the Eagles to prove to me they're better.
Well, we'll find out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, like that's that for me. I'm like the Commanders have outplayed us. They've looked better. Their quarterback looks now. To Jalen Hurts' credit, he has looked safer in the last 2 weeks, and it's been
plain clean.
I will say the Eagles' run game is superior to the Commanders' run game.
Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
Commanders at 4 ahead of the Ravens. Baltimore beat the.
I'm punishing the Ravens for losing.
You're doing
not as much as I did.
I had the Browns as the 32nd team.
I got them at
last
9.
week. If you lose to them, you're going to get punished.
Divisional physics, buddy.
That's a better.
I don't give a shit about divisional physics.
Then you should give shit about divisional physics. Then
No,
because I told everybody the lock of the week was +9 Cleveland.
Cool story, bro. You got one
I
right.
played your bets and I lost. You owe me $1.50, fucker.
That's right. Sorry, bud.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, so a few things. I find it interesting that the evil twin is plotting and supporting the Eagles, and then in the very next turn says he needs more proof of them. I think it's exactly what Mike's point is. So I'll lead with that. A, B. EJ, if you're going to take a shot about me not doing my own power rankings, you tell me another weekend where you have 4 events that
I'm just
involve
fucking with you,
Shut
Kyle.
the fuck up. I'm trying to goddamn plug myself.
Oh my God.
Where you don't have 4.
That didn't sound right.
Yes,
Thanks,
that's so
Mike.
true. Thank you, Mike.
That made my day.
I mean,
woo! Just because asshole interrupts everybody, y'all get a joke. This is an awesome fucking show. God damn. Fuck
Chris
you.
Collins.
EJ.
Got nothing on Chris Collinsworth. It's nice.
I definitely put the Dolphins and the Saints in my bottom 5 because both those offenses look like hot trash now. Spencer Rattler is garbage. Tua is not gonna save this Dolphins
Carl
team.
will be back this week, right? Like,
Does it matter?
I kind of. Yeah.
I mean, they didn't look that great with him. I mean, yeah, the Cowboy game with the blowout there, but I mean,
that was nice.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks for that. Yeah. I'll say it again this year. I think it'd be easier to do bottom 10, top 5.
See,
because
there's like 8 or 9 teams that like could easily just shuffle
there's
into
just
this
a lot of
bottom
bad
5.
at the bottom.
It's
it also
bad.
looks like I'm the only one. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Sean also did, but penalized the Vikings for losing to the Rams.
Yeah, but I'm also ready to reward the Rams. More on that later.
Yep.
I did, for the record, I did drop the Vikings 3 spots.
I mean, I dropped them from like 4 to 9 because
the Vikings have slid 2 in a row now, right?
Yeah, the
it's
reason
like back-to-back losses, and they did not look good in the first loss.
The reason
they're starting to feel like they're losing their luster. A little bit,
to your point, Sean. The reason I didn't kill the Vikings too. Also, you're playing the Rams on a short week. The Rams got healthy this week. On top of that, and when the Rams are healthy, they're a totally different team. So
yeah. I like to put teams at a spot where they're either going to move up or down. The Vikings are right where they need to be, which is 10, because they're either going to show me they belong in the 10 and move back up a little bit, or they're going to continue their slide, and then I don't have to deal with them anymore. I wanted them at 10, and I put them there.
Yeah, I feel like there could be a couple teams at 10. There could certainly could be a couple of teams at 28. If you want that to be the Giants, if you want that to be the Saints, if you want that to be the Dolphins, I know Mike has the Dolphins down at 30. If you want it to be the Dolphins in there,
good on the Browns for pulling out of this, though. I feel for me,
because they certainly looked a lot more competent. Jameis Winston looked more like Deshaun Watson in 2020.
I feel like there was another team. The Jaguars could easily be down there. They're pretty piss poor.
But like I think for me, it's I think your top two, probably the third with the Bills, and then I think it's somewhere in the middle. Again, if the Ravens can easily move back above the Commanders, I don't believe in 4As and 4Bs, so that's why I had the Ravens.
Anybody else find it fun that like I found it fun when I was like putting that like 8, 9, 10 together, like that there's some like interesting teams that I think are like a win or two away that they could beat, like the fact that if Bo Nix pulls off, like, I don't know, if he were to win his next 2 games, like I would find it real hard to not have him and the Broncos in the top 10. Now it would require some of those teams falling out, but I kind of excited for Bo Nix. I didn't think I would say that.
They're a surprising team. Yes. I would say.
I had the Falcons, the Steelers, the Broncos,
the Denver Broncos.
We're all in the discussion for the 10 spot for me, and I had like 4 or 5 teams in the 28 discussion. Saints, who I put there, the Raiders, the Giants.
I like the Raiders stayed out because I like Gardner Minshew.
I think I also had, who's the other team I had? Oh, I had the Jaguars in the conversation. I won't go as bad as saying they're as bad as you think they are, Sean. I do think that they have now waved the white flag.
Well, they graduated out of hot garbage, but they're still garbage.
Jags are
they're not good. Trevor Lawrence is not playing as good as I thought he would.
They're disappointment, but they're
No,
I don't like it.
And play the part of Mikey Byrne. There's proof you don't watch the games. Trevor Lawrence is not a problem for this Jaguars.
Well, he's not the problem.
The tying touchdown was completed by Trevor Lawrence. The defense failed him to bring us extra football to watch that game.
The defense is way worse.
Considering the fact that 2 active receivers, that's right, 2 active receivers, they were forced to run the ace formation for the rest of the fucking game. I know you've never heard of Tim Jones, and you shouldn't have, Sean. And then Parker Washington coming in to assert himself over veteran Christian Kirk, who's now out for the year. And I know you've never heard of Brenton Strange, but he made 2 amazing catches to set up.
I'll have you know that I'm in a Dynasty Fantasy League, and I followed Brenton Strange for all the weeks that Evan Ingram was injured. So
in that case, bad props to you for that, my friend. But the punchline being, Trevor Lawrence isn't the problem.
I really didn't want to move the Green Bay Packers up this week. I had them at 9 last week. The only reason why they moved up is because Minnesota fell apart down as many spots as they did with the Rams. Because at the end of the day, the Packers, knowing that the Jaguars only have 2 healthy wide receivers and still to only win by a field goal, I get it. It's survive if you can, and that's kind of the way it's felt like with a lot of teams this year. It's survive the games and get out with a victory. Perfect example of that is the Kansas City Chiefs, who we've gone back and forth on this show. They have been able to survive. Green Bay survived this game, but it doesn't feel like they should really have been rewarded. They're rewarded because other teams ahead of them decided to plummet back to earth.
Yeah. And that's kind of the story of some of mine. I mean, for me, like, I think we're kind of at that point, unless we start seeing major upsets or something, that the teams that are kind of in at least probably the top 6 are probably going to be there for a while, unless there's injuries or teams just fall apart or whatever, because we're kind of at that point where we're starting to be aware of who people are. For me, I don't envision huge swings for anybody.
Let me ask you guys a question. Okay, how many teams do you consider Super Bowl contenders right now through 8 weeks?
4.
Okay. Is it your top 4?
Probably.
Okay. So I'll go 1, 2, 3.
I could put a fringe 5th team there.
Okay, hold on. I gotta ask you to quantify what you mean by Super Bowl contender.
As you know how I do it, everybody has different ways of making this.
Well, that's why I asked the question.
Yeah, right. So for me, do I see X team playing in their conference championship game?
Okay.
At least.
Then I'm probably at 5 or 6 by default, because I have to pick 2 teams to play in the NFC title game.
Yeah.
Based off of numbers.
Right. No. I totally agree with you. I have 6 also. My number is 6 as well.
Yeah.
Wait, there's 2 teams in every game?
It's my top 5 and then the Packers.
I'm sorry, I still laugh at that.
Vikings.
Yeah, I mine honestly are probably just my top 5 right now.
Tier 1? Are you talking about tier 1?
Well, as like teams, maybe 6. I'll throw the Packers in there.
I don't think I have 4 in my tier 1.
Well, no, this isn't tier 1. These are EJ's
Super Bowl bubble.
Super Bowl bubble. We're back in the bubble again.
What teams could you see playing in their conference title?
In their conference title games.
There's a world
Chiefs,
where
Bills, Lions, and someone else.
But you
I
could
don't
also
I don't have a second NFC team that's like guaranteed to be there.
So you have kind of like 5 or 6. Then you're kind of like where I think we all are.
I mean, right now, I think the Packers. To be honest, right now, based on what I'm seeing, teams win when they should and pull games out when they should and fight when they should. It's probably the Washington Commanders.
I was going to say mine are Chiefs, Bills, Ravens.
But they might. I mean, it's a rookie quarterback. You know what's going to happen. So
my AFC is Chiefs, Bills, Ravens. My NFC is Lions, Eagles, Commanders.
And I think for me, it's like the Commanders / Eagles would be the team opposite the Lions. Whichever one decides they want to take control of the East, it's going to be with a little bit of a show, and then that team will pull ahead and be my 4th.
Yeah, mine is my top 5: Chiefs, Lions, Eagles, Ravens, Bills, and then the Packers are my 6th team. I don't see Houston in there.
How many teams play in your conference championship, EJ?
No, he's saying that those are teams that could play in the conference.
Right.
He's not saying to pick your conference champions today.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so to be fair, for the podcast audience, like that's why I quantified the question, because when you say Super Bowl contenders, to me, Lions, Chiefs.
That's my 2.
That is my, because when I think Super Bowl contenders, if we're sitting here week 8 and I close my eyes and I think who's playing in the Super Bowl this year, Lions, Chiefs. That's my
answer. I have the Bills at like a slightly distant 3rd.
Yeah.
Like my top 3 is it. I don't have a 4th.
The reason I say conference championship is because you got to play for the right to get there. So who would that opponent be? So at least
EJ, that's a separate question.
Right.
You're like asking me who my Super Bowl finalists are.
Right,
I'm like,
so
well, I have 2.
EJ's actual question is who are your conference championship contenders?
Okay, so yeah, he wants like 5 or 6-ish teams that could win their okay. I gave you mine.
It could be less than that. It could be less than that. You could be stuck on just like 2 teams. That's it, no matter what. So,
Lions, Eagles, Commanders, Bills, Chiefs, Ravens.
Yeah.
There it is. There's my AFC and NFC.
I'll say my top 6 are my 6.
I will say though,
3 AFC.
I don't like my top 6 in that question.
I will say if I had a 7th, the Steelers are interesting.
No.
If I had a 16th
they're deep. Now let's
what
see
the fuck makes them interesting?
Well, the defense starters top 3.
Their offense is dog water. They can't fucking score. You expect them to beat fucking Buffalo?
I'm not putting them in there. I'm just saying that they're interesting.
Stop with the fucking risky
but
bullshit.
at that point, you might as well just say your top 10.
No, I'm not.
Right.
Because I don't see.
EJ, if I was
I don't
pick
see
a
any.
12th
I don't
team.
see any world right now where the Vikings play an NFC title game.
But what if the wind blows in the right direction?
What if it snows in
If
Minnesota?
things change, it's a fluid argument. Of course, it's a fluid conversation. But right now, through 8 weeks, I don't see it.
So it's your top 9.
Never
Jim.
change. Never get off the fence.
Jim, it's
No,
your top
of course
9.
not. No, it's not. It's still 6 teams.
His whole like EJ's picks are like
Sean.
the putt game on The Price is Right.
Sean,
Where it's a hole in one.
Sean, you're making a big deal about it. All I was saying was that I'm interested in the Steelers.
My favorite sound
The
effect.
city of Pittsburgh is barely interested.
I don't.
Kyle, do you want to try to give a number to EJ's convoluted question?
Well,
do you want to dunk on him for the Steelers?
The part that I find the most hilarious is I'm the one person on the panel that understood the fucking question when he asked it the first time.
Oh no,
I understood the question. I just had to quantify it for people that maybe.
Kyle, you also know he's been working with me for like 12 years now. So
yes, please remind me of that pain.
God, it coming every Tuesday, buddy.
So that's what she said. Anyways,
plug it up.
So, yeah, that I'm actually doing work in sport press boxes, but whatever, that's fine. So for me, I think leaving the Bills out of the conversation as somebody that could sneak by and get vengeance, especially after we had a conversation that we had about Josh Allen seems a bit, I don't call it dishonest, but wacky, So I think the Bills deserve their credit to be one of the other other three teams in the Super Bowl conversation. But because the NFC has to present somebody, I think Jordan Love farves himself out of the playoffs too, Larry, for that. I think the possibility of the Niners getting hot in the playoffs is something that shouldn't be overlooked. So I'm going to put them on the list. Hit the homer button if you'd like, but
Homer.
Homer.
But I think a lot of that hinges on whether McCaffrey's actually going to be healthy out of a bye or not.
And it's not just McCaffrey we have to be concerned with there.
Yes,
like I'm talking about piece after piece after piece after piece coming back, while what the fuck?
No, I put a
Ryan.
comment from Ryan on the screen. The optics don't look good for EJ here.
They haven't.
Hey, fuck you, Ryan. Bold.
I will say to Kyle's 49er conversation, let's not forget that it's not just offensive pieces that are going to come back.
Yeah.
There are going to be defensive pieces that are going to make this defense really good again. Let's not forget about those guys. So if there's
gotta make defense good again.
There we go.
So Jesus Christ.
What happened?
So while I look at Christian McCaffrey being a piece, like we also need to make sure that Jordan Mason's shoulder
Nobody
doesn't
knows defense better.
fall out of socket. We also need to make sure that Debo looks like he's able to stay healthy. But the fact of the matter is this: as long as their defense keeps playing to the level of defense that the Niners can play at, they're going to be a team that can make a run late in the season.
Well, and let me land the plane this way. Depending on when they come back, Mike, they'll have guys that are coming back and also being rested, while other players have maintained campaigns or getting knocked out themselves. That's the advantage of missing time early, is when you come back, you could be in a better position to do battle. We saw Drew Brees do that. Sorry?
The old Tom Brady effect. He did that one year.
I think that's not a bad example, Sean. The one I would use is Drew Brees.
Drew Brees. That's a good
he
one,
would
too.
have otherwise been clearly cooked if he played the full season.
Tom Brady's was a suspension.
Right. Brady is always going to be healthy for all of the games until he's like a billion years old. Brees was clearly on the decline the year they went deep in the playoffs with him before he retired, right?
Oh, sure.
So correct. That's why I go with Brees on that, is if he had played the full 16, there's no fucking way he had the arm strength to finish the playoffs.
Yeah. And I mean, the Niners coming out of the bye week, I mean, they have a bunch of difficult games. They also have 3 games within the division because, again, the NFC West has to send somebody.
Yep.
So if in that tight battle, you can beat Seattle, you can beat the Rams, you can beat Arizona the last week of the year. Like all of those teams, not looking at their schedule, they're going to lose some games. Niners probably going to lose some games as well. But if they can get the full strength, rattle off a couple of wins, because you do play the Dolphins in there, you play the Bears in there, like you're going to have an opportunity to get a shot at the division.
Exactly. That's the opportunity to get hot, period.
Yeah, very good.
West is so interesting.
Moving on.
All right, let's go to this.
Lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
We look ahead to the weekend that will be, and we pick one thing that will happen this upcoming weekend. Student of the game, I'll start with you. What will happen this weekend?
I believe that Colorado will be ranked higher next week than they are this week.
Nice.
They are off this week, so somebody ahead of them will lose that, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I hit the button.
Lock it up.
Sean, what will happen this weekend?
Well, much to Kyle's chagrin, this is what's going to happen this week. By week's end, thanks to I'll call them the Angry Bears after the Washington game, but the Arizona Cardinals falter against the Chicago Bears. The LA Rams, the now healthy and a confident Matt Stafford-led LA Rams continue the Seahawks' moderate decline here in the middle of the season. And by week's end, because the 49ers have to sit back and just watch it all happen, the LA Rams will be in first place in the NFC West.
That's actually a fascinating take. I dig it.
I like that. EJ.
My lock is Monday Football. The Chiefs will continue to stay unbeaten and beat the
Wow, so easy, bud. Whoa.
What a hot take.
Against the Bucks.
That's kind of lame, but
it's a little lame this week. It's lame this week.
That's a pretty fence-sitting take.
Yeah, I gave you some good ones the last couple weeks. I'm
No, you really haven't, though.
I have. Shut up.
No, but you really.
I can't wait till the end of the year. Just running all of his hot takes. Just see what they are. See what the locks are.
Mikey B, redeem us. What will happen
Hey.
this weekend?
All right, hit the hot take button real quick. I got one.
God.
He's stretching.
This is brand. I told you this is brand.
I swear, if you somehow manage to take mine, I'm going to be pissed.
I might here. Just be ready for it, okay?
All right.
Bo Nix goes into Baltimore and beats the Baltimore Ravens.
No, Jim does not.
Lock it up.
Yeah, no, I didn't have that.
He does.
Not have that.
By the way, if you're going to play that, can you also play the Homer for the Bengal fan that called that, please? Thank you.
Oh, Homer.
All right, and what I have is at least 2 of the 3 top 5 teams who play unranked opponents will not cover the spread. So that will be Oregon, who is minus 14 over Michigan, Georgia, who's a 16-point favorite over Florida, and Miami is a 20-point favorite over Duke. At least 2 out of those 3 will not cover the spread.
That is an interesting take.
I really feel like my other hot take was better, or my other lock it up was better, but I'll stay with Bo Nix.
What was the other one, just for the record? Off the record.
Joe Flacco leads the Indianapolis Colts to victory on Sunday Night Football against the Minnesota
I don't
Vikings.
think that's as hot of a take at all. I think that's a good take.
I know it's not. I'm just saying. I think
Vikings.
that's
all.
I'm just saying. I think that's
call, but I like the other one better. The Bo Nix one's way more exciting.
I think the Colts one feels more of like a lock it up. Like if you're trying to like use it as like a bet line, I think the Colts one is more in play. I think the Bo Nix one is just me hoping for goddamn anarchy at this point.
John's also a
fair.
Colts
I like
fan
that.
too. John's also a Colts fan too. So
That's
The
fair.
Bo Nix
All
pick
right.
was the opposite of the Chiefs pick.
Let's go to the plugs. No pun intended. Student of the game, Kyle Nash. Plug away, my friend.
You know, the hardest working man Daniel still gets no damn respect. 4 events in 4 days covering the Orlando Magic, covering the UCF Knights, painfully as that's gone lately too as well, while also bridging the Duval Dive live reaction where Travis D. Holmes was in person for Everbank. But no, sorry, EJ, I didn't do any fucking rankings this week. Yeah, asshat. Anyway.
I said what I said.
And you're still a fucking dickhead. Moving on. So whenever you're done with the interruptions, Gilmore,
Go
I
ahead.
fucking got you. Good. So anyway,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Bye, Kyle.
Go at the SOTG on Twitter.
I can listen to him on the black and gold banneret, all that fun stuff.
Stop. No, just go at the SOTG on Twitter. Hit the link tree. Get all of his stuff. Sean.
I don't have as many things, but on the Twitter, I am at Sean Shine State. We're down here. We're in Florida. People are still recovering from a hurricane. Don't forget it happened. Keep building up. We're doing great down here. Go Birds.
All right. EJ.
Earthquake Podcast across all podcast catchers. Each Chris 7 on Twitter, YouTube.com /Christian. That's what I got for you.
All right, Mikey B.
I'm not going to plug anything in honor of Kyle. So Jim, get us out of here.
All right, you can follow me at Big Jim Sports. Make sure you are following along with the show. We are at Huddle Up Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Actually, no, the Twitch. Let me put that graphic up on the screen. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok at Huddle Up Podcast. Instagram is at Huddle Up Podcasting. Twitch is at Huddle Up Inc. You can, of course, get our merchandise over at the T Public Store. Subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms. Rate, review, like, share, do all of that. Please continue to spread the word of the show. Our YouTube numbers continue to go up, so I appreciate all of the support we get there. Until next week, stay safe, stay smart, and as always, go for the win.